From North Central High School in Indianapolis, we welcome you to the Grange Insurance All-Star Football Classic between the North and the South Football All-Stars of Indiana High School football. With the South leading the series 23-19, the South winning last year 34-14, and a beautiful night for football. And hello again, fans. I'm Jerry Baker, along with Jan Boser and Greg Rakestraw, and welcome again to North Central High School. In the booth with me, Jan. Jan, first off, let's talk about weather. Generally, when you're talking mid-July, you're talking 95 degrees and 95% humidity. They have had a terrific night for football and had a terrific week for practice to get ready for tonight's game.
Jerry, they have. Of course, if you're looking to shed a few pounds, that didn't happen either.
No.
But as an ex-lineman, this is God's gift to you because this time it is so hot, and what a beautiful night, as you said.
I was down at the University of Indianapolis earlier this week and spent some time with the Southern squad down there, and we were talking about this, that, and the other. And Larry McWhorter, who is coaching, of course, the North team, he's coaching the South team, made a comment that a lot of the guys in the past have not come in shape. He was very pleased with his squad physically, and that's going to be an issue on what would have been a very warm night. Not so much an issue now with the cool weather, but if you only got 5 days to get your team ready, that could be an issue physically and mentally.
Well, you're right, especially in hot weather. And, of course, the football players tonight that are going to college, they're expecting you to be in shape as well. So you had best not only be in shape for tonight's ball game as you prepare to go to college, but so much of high school is all year round now, Jerry. Staying in shape and being prepared, it's really an all-year thing now.
Well, our pregame show tonight is brought to you by J.E.S. & Sons. J.E.S. & Sons helping Indiana to communicate since 1976. And by our friends at the Shelbourne Knee Center at Methodist Hospital. World-class care right in your backyard. Glad to have you along tonight. Let's make one note here. The proceeds from the game benefiting Camp Riley and the Indiana Football Hall of Fame, which is located in Richmond, Indiana. Both these squads, and you made a point, colleges right now. Now, if you're watching this game and you're saying, well, wait a minute, I haven't seen my particular player who I think is an all-star listed on the rosters, or if as the game progresses you don't see him in there, there's a very good reason for that, Jan. You and I were chatting a while ago. It has reached the point now where high school seniors, be it basketball, baseball, football, whatever, when they graduate from high school, they are expected in some cases to go right onto the college campus immediately. So that means that some of what could be North or South All-Stars are simply not allowed to play in this game.
Well, no question about it. That happens all the time. And as well as, Jerry, there are some other all-star games, like a big name out here tonight, Nick Zachary from Sheridan.
Well, let's get to the keys to tonight's game, Jan. The All-Star Game keys are brought to you by Ponderosa Steakhouse, land of choice, home of the platter. How about the North first?
Well, if you're the North, I think you look out for number 1 on the jersey, and that's Contain Morgan Newton. Jerry, you've seen him in the state playoffs. He can literally put a team on his back and carry them. And number 2, I think the North has to be able to run the football tonight. They really do. And if they're going to beat the South, they'll need to control the clock as well.
Now let's move over to the south side of the lineup. By the way, the introductions on the field are ongoing right now with everybody getting introduced to this crowd here at North Central High School. Here are the south situation.
Well, as you talked about, only a week to prepare, and all the things you do in weeks has to be done in 1 week now. So get a good offensive rhythm. Morgan Newton will get his South club, get a good run, good pass relationship, and I think you're going to see some big plays out of the South. You'll probably see some out of the North, but also the South, some good quarterbacks on that North ball club, so the defense for the South will need to get some real good pressure on the quarterback tonight.
All right, Janet, you take a look at both of these squads. Who has the advantage, offense or defense?
Well, I think the South has speed. They have so much speed, and they have a lot of talent. I'd give the nod to the South offensively. I think the North has some very good people, but I think they're the underdog tonight, Jerry, going to this ball game.
But generically speaking, if you're coaching the offense, do you have an advantage over the defensive coach or vice versa?
Well, it's tough to put a whole offense in a week, that's for sure. So you have to give the defense a little nod. You just say, hey, go out and play football. That's what I like. So you give the nod to the defense a little bit. But that being said, you've got some fine offensive athletes out here tonight. It won't take them long to get going, Jerry.
No, that's exactly it. The simplisticness of an all-star game is an absolute necessity. If you're a coach, as say Rich Dodson is, for the North Stars, and you've got a playbook that's got 35 plays in it, let's say offensively, you can only use about, maybe 5 of those?
Yeah, I think you put just a handful of good plays. And, Jerry, the game has changed so much today. There's so much strength, so much speed. You let players go play the game.
Well, basically, in watching Rich Dodson in practice with the North squad earlier this week, they were working on a little bubble pass play that I specifically remember, and they had a couple of 3 other plays that they ran. Now, again, they practiced every day, 2 days, as a matter of fact, but he didn't spend a lot of time on any of those individual plays. They ran this particular play a couple of times. Okay, Tommy, you go out and take the place of the wide receiver. They ran it again, and so they tried to make it as simplistic as possible. Now, the other issue, Jan, is the fact that this is an all-star game, unlike a regular high school game where the object is to win. They still want to win, don't misunderstand. But you, as a coach, have got to get every player on the gridiron tonight, and that in itself presents an issue for a head coach.
Well, it does. About the time this line gets very comfortable with the cadence from one quarterback, they're going to shift quarterback, so they'll start all over again. So those pieces come into play, that's for sure.
Well, we're going to take a break while the introduction of the entire lineups continues here. The Grange Insurance All-Star North-South Football Classic. We'll have the opening kickoff just moments from right now. Up in the booth with Jan Boser, this is Jerry Baker. Greg Rakestraw will spend the evening very comfortably outside, patrolling the sidelines. We'll go down to Greg after a while and get a word from him. The game director is Paul Logan, the assistant athletic director at North Central High School. John Mallory is the banquet chairman. Dave Land in charge of advertising and tickets, and Joe Hernandez of Ball State University handles the media relations. We appreciate all their kind help. Let's also make a note while I'm thinking about it, Jen, talk about the fact that this game does indeed benefit Camp Riley and the Indiana Football Hall of Fame. And the youngsters who make up these 2 squads spent some time at Camp Riley this week.
Well, they did, and you're going to see some footage here in a little bit, and that's the beauty of this game. It's for such a great cause.
There's some of the youngsters who have been here for quite some time. Jan, let's talk a little bit about the quarterbacks. Let's go first off with the North. They've got 2 terrific quarterbacks in Skyler Titus and Matt Lancaster.
Well, Jerry, I've seen Matt Lancaster play. I've had the privilege to see him. I've not seen Skyler Titus, but I was talking to Greg a little bit about Skyler Titus. But, you know, these 4 quarterbacks tonight, Jerry, have the equivalent of 20,000 yards passing. That's amazing. But, Matt Lancaster from West Lafayette will be attending Illinois State. His career passing 5,411 yards, 58 TDs, 56% accuracy passing. He's quite the passer. Likewise, from Northwood High School, Skyler Titus. How about these numbers, Jerry? 6,000 career yards and 56 TD passes. So the North certainly has the firepower when it comes to the quarterback.
Now, the South won't do bad either, though, Jan, with Matt King and Morgan Newton running that side of the line of scrimmage.
Well, let's start with Matt King going to Indiana State. Boy, they got a nice pick there in Matt King from Rockville. Career passing, how about this, Jerry? 7,880 yards.
And I should point out, Jan, as an Indiana State graduate, I've had about enough of the guff. We haven't won a football game in 32 years, so I'm looking forward to it.
You've taken it tough, my friend, for a while. 103 TD passes. Of course, he's played for 4 years, 58% in his accuracy. Also, he can rush the football, 2,284 for the Sycamores. Got a fine quarterback in one Matt King. And then the gentleman that everybody will watch tonight, number 1 on his jersey, Morgan Newton from Carmel, Mr. Football, going to the University of Kentucky, has passed for 4,284 yards, 54 TD passes, and maybe as good as runner as he is passer.
Yeah, exactly.
And 2,617 career yards, 37 TDs, Jerry, 6,900 all-purpose yards. You've seen him against Center Grove. You've seen him multiple times, Jerry. He's an amazing athlete, and he might be as good a basketball player as he is a football player.
And that's the reason he was voted the Indianapolis Star Mr. Football. Well, they finally, Jan, have gone through the roster, both the North squad and the Southern squad, and we're getting ready for the coin toss here. again on a beautiful night and a very nice crowd. I was looking while you were chatting, John, Jan, down below me. This side, the west side of the field, is pretty much filled up, and what you're seeing on the other side is about maybe a half, 3/4 filled over there.
Jerry, let me talk about that for a second. When people talk about high school football, the powerhouse states, you usually think of Ohio, Texas, Florida. My friend, I'm not afraid to put Indiana right up there anymore. In fact, you look at the national rankings in the last 5 years, Indiana has had a representation in the top 5 in the past 4 years. Indiana football is alive and well.
It kind of gets caught in the shadow of the fact that we're known as a basketball state. But you're right. If you go back and look at the rankings, the national rankings, you're going to find the Ben Davises, the Carmels, the Warren Centrals, et cetera, always up in that top group up there. The Vice President of Grange Insurance, Carol Drake, will be out all with the officials for tonight's game. He'll be a part of the coin toss procedure out there. Jan, do you have those officials handy over there somewhere? We've got a list of them.
Come in and introduce yourself.
Here we go. Let's pick this up.
Okay, who's speaking over here? Step down here with me. Who's over here speaking? Come on down here just so we can hear. Okay, gentlemen, we do accept good sportsmanship. Okay, congratulations on being here today. You're not going to get a brilliant speech out of me. I got a head, you got a tail. Okay, you guys.
Back here, Coach got him flipping here.
He's flipping? Okay, here you go. Your visitors want you to call it before we flip it. What do you want?
Tails.
Tails, flip it.
Again, joining us today is the honorary
Come on, baby.
North and South.
Tails.
It is a tails. You have the option to receive, defer. Do you want to defer? Okay, which way you guys going to kick? Or which way you're going to receive? Which way you kicking?
That way.
You're going to kick that way? Okay. All right. Need for you guys to come over here. You guys rotate here. We'll give the signal.
All right, you saw the South won the coin toss. They will defer to the second half. It's always kind of fun to. That's great audio, by the way. Our terrific job, guys, of getting that audio, because normally you don't get to go inside the huddle like that. Robert Bryant is the referee. Anthony DeHaven is the back judge. Andy Hurst, the line judge. Jason Kessler, the head linesman, and Bill Widener is the umpire. Mr. Bryant and Mr. DeHaven. Well, Mr. Bryant's from Rochester, DeHaven's from Logansport, Hurst from Macy, also from Logansport, Kessler, and Widener, the umpire, is from Wabash, Indiana. If you look down their bios here, Jan, they've all got a number of years. In fact, Bill Widener, the umpire, 19 years of varsity football. Let's go down to field now. Greg, it's nice to have you with us tonight, bud.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Great to be with you this evening as well. And again, you guys touched on this a few minutes ago, but this is amazing, the weather that we have for July. Now, for years, this was a Saturday afternoon game. We had to build in water breaks. Last year was the first year it was an evening game, still rather hot. I guess it's fitting. It is British Open weekend. If you watched the golf this week in Scotland, it looked rather chilly. We have the same weather here tonight, so it's really going to be an issue not of overheating, not of heat coming off the turf or dehydration, but literally what direction you're going, because the wind could be a factor in tonight's game, fellas.
And the coaches are hoping they don't fall, Greg, the same fate that fell Tiger Woods today as he finished up 5 over par and didn't make the cut in the British Open.
Jerry, we were talking about the officials and being an ex-basketball official. These guys love to be out here. They love the game. They don't do this for money. They love the game. Get to be a part of an event like this is something special for an official.
Absolutely. All right, the South is going to kick off. The North will be to our right, to your right as you join us here tonight. We are delighted to have you along for our telecast. The Grange Insurance All-Star Classic. The South in the white uniforms, the blue jerseys for the North All-Stars. Here is the kickoff. And it's going to be taken just outside the 5-yard line, about the 7 or 8 yard line, up across the 15 to the 20, out to around the 21 or 22-yard line. And from there, the North will go on the offensive attack. We'll get a chance to check out the starting quarterback here. Matt Lancaster, number 9, or number 13, Skyler Titus, will be on the field to run the North All-Star squad.
They would start after the 13-yard.
Jerry, you talk about just a week to prepare offensively and defensively. kicking teams. That's not much time. Special teams are one of those things that just usually take a little while.
Absolutely.
Very well done how they shoot here.
Skylar Titus will be the starting quarterback for the North All-Stars. Skylar Titus wearing number 13, a 6'3", 215-pounder out of Northwood. He'll head toward Purdue University, and they'll keep the ball on the ground for the first play of the game. The tackle made by the South's number 34, Anthony Elias, out of Center Grove. I would think, Jan, the practice that I watched earlier this week, there's not a lot of hitting. So some of these guys are getting their first knocks for the first time in a while.
Yeah, they might. Hitting is something that usually takes a little while. We'll see how they do tonight.
Set up out of the I formation. This drive beginning back at about the 22-yard line officially. Here's the fake handoff and up the middle and almost to the midfield stripe out to about the 45-yard line. Beautiful fake by Skylar Titus.
Jerry, a huge hoe over the right side. Something I want to be watching here is the line play. The blue team, obviously, the North does a great job. Guard tackle, big hole.
That was George Ezel, the runner for the North All-Stars. On the second play of the game, picking up from the 23 or 4-yard line out to about the 44 or 42 or 43. So pickup of almost 20 yards on that play. Titus back to throw for the first time. Got the pass complete on the far side to Josh Rubin. And Rubin right out of bounds in front of the North bench over there.
Well, the North right now is really mixing up here, a run and a pass and moving the ball nicely. We talked about in the opening about ball control. Plenty of time to throw. Good pass, good catch.
A pickup of about 9 on that play across the midfield stripe down to around the 43-yard line. Second down, and we'll call it 1. It's a long one. Here's a give to the fullback up the middle and crashing across the 45 down near the 40-yard line. Good enough for another first down.
Wow, the shoot here early. The North is really doing a nice job on that offensive line. Take a look here from our downstairs camera. You know, Jerry, one of the things in high school that gets overlooked is good line coaching. A good line coach is worth his gold, and a great job there by the offensive line.
Carlton Austin, one of the running backs of the North All-Star squad. This is Titus back to throw. And pitches it off, and now a penalty marker comes in for the first time in this game as they get the ball right back near the line of scrimmage.
Let's see what the call is. And some pressure that time from the outside.
It's generally in the area of holding, but they picked up the flag apparently. Yeah, they did. There was no penalty. A gain of about a yard. We'll call it second down and about 9.
That was a secondary sack. Really nowhere to throw the ball. South does a nice job in the secondary that time.
You'll see the different colored helmets. Of course, the young men wearing the helmets of their home school. Now a single setback, slot to the left side. Wide out on the upper part of your screen likewise out there. Back to throw again. Here's Titus looking, firing on the far side. Pass is caught over there and complete. It's Marquise Nichols.
Right now, the South is really playing a soft zone here. Boy, and just a nice pass and catch.
Pick up a 4 yards on the play. The ball spotted right on the 35-yard line. Bear with us because there's going to be a lot of shuffling of players in and out of this game as everybody wants to get everybody into the lineup. George Ezel set into the slot to the left side. Formation similar to what we had the previous play. Out of the shotgun again. Here is Titus looking to their side. Going to try to get a bundle if he can. Got a receiver over here. And just barely underthrown. Intended for the running back, George Ezel. Pass incomplete. It'll be fourth down.
Well, right into your TV, Jerry. Here's your new quarterback for Indiana State. Underthrows his receiver just a little bit. It was right there. Boy, he's had some receivers open so far, Jerry.
Well, let's see what happens now, Jan, on the fourth down, and you're across midfield down to the 35-yard line. You talked about the kicking game. Do you bring in your kicker, Jake Lazar, or do you go ahead and try to pick up the 5 yards? They appear to be going to go for the first down.
I said Indiana State. Actually, Tyler Scott is walking on at Purdue. I'm going to make sure I get all my Purdue fans happy with me here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Out of the shotgun on a fourth down and 5. Titus looking. He's got some protection. Going to try to pick up the first down and does not. The pass incomplete on the far sideline, intended for the tight end over there, Gary Dykos. So they have to punt their way out of this. I'm sorry, they turned the ball over on downs, and now the South will go to work, and we'll get our first look at either Morgan Newton or Matt King. 4 passes and 4 runs on that 8-play series, which ends up in a turnover as far as downs are concerned. Now the South. Let's take a look at these guys. Eric Williams, Nick Turner, Teddy Stucker, Zane Fakes, and David Brown. Those are the key running backs for the South All-Stars. Here's the fake. Here's the pitch to the near side from Morgan Newton. The pitch out on the near side, and a gain of about 3 or 4 yards before about a half a dozen blue shirts come flying in there.
Well, here you see the pitch to Eric Williams from Warren Central, of course. Eric Williams and Cheese Pro, what a dynamic duo they were at Warren Central. But defensively, a nice job stringing it out and really not a lot of running room.
Dylan Painter out of Fort Wayne Snyder, one of the guys in to put a stop to that and pick up a 3. Call it 2nd down and 7 yards to go now as this drive begins at the 35-yard line. Back to throw now. Newton for the first time, and he's got trouble. He's got all kinds of company. He is sacked inside the 30, down to around the 27 or 28-yard line.
Pressure. There's that good foot speed. Look at a great job of beating the outside blocker. That's what you get here in a game like this, Jerry. You've got so much speed and so good technique that Morgan Newton's going to have to watch his backside here a little bit.
That'll be a loss of about a half a dozen yards back inside the 30. Ball spotted right at the 29-yard line. Newton now with a couple of protectors back there. A 4-man front now for the Northern All-Stars. Basically a 4-4-3. Here's the little screen pass coming off of the near side to Williams. Williams with some running room. He's got the first down. This kid can flat out run. He's almost to midfield, out to the 48-yard line. So a pickup of about 18 yards on this play.
Jerry, look at this block by number 56, Eric Hackett from Indianapolis, Arlington, right just out of your picture there. Really did the job here of giving the runner all kinds of room. Beautiful block.
They get the first down. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line. Clock running with 8 minutes, 10 seconds to play here in the first quarter. The North-South All-Star game from North Central High School in Indianapolis. Newton will keep the football up the middle, close to the midfield stripe. A gain of 1, perhaps 2. It'll be 2nd down and about 8. Here's Morgan Newton climbing off the deck. Newton, in that 5A state championship game, rushed 19 times for 211 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also, as Dan pointed out earlier, is a double threat. He was 12 of 19 passing for 78 yards and 1 touchdown. That's an all-pro season in 1 game.
The thing so beautiful about Morgan Newton, he's got a lot of upper body strength, but he got big-time strength in his legs, too.
4th play of the drive now, 5th play of the drive, 2nd down and 8. Newton out of the shotgun. He's got a gun. He's got an open receiver. It'll be short of the 1st down territory. Defenders in the area, just shy of the 1st down marker over there. And coming, the tackle being made that time by Caleb Simmons, and the pass complete to Tyrone Walker.
We talked about the South, Jerry, getting into a little bit of a rhythm now, and you're starting to see Morgan Newton get pretty comfortable now and doing a nice job moving his offense.
Larry McWhorter, the head coach of the Southern All-Stars, head coach at Zionsville, 13 years at Zionsville, 109 wins, 40 losses, 48th on the active wins list. Larry McWhorter, we'll talk about his assistants momentarily. 3rd down and a yard to go with 6.5 minutes to go now in this first quarter of play. Here's a give to the running back, Eric Williams, trying to turn the corner, and I'm not sure he got it done, Jan. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue shirts swarming in that general area. One of the guys, Brian Fogler, out of Fort Wayne Bishop Dwenger.
Well, the thing you're going to see here is speed on the defense. Look how the pursuit is, the good angles by the North team. Just know where to go. And that's the thing you'll see here tonight, you see at the next level in college, is the speed, Jerry. You cannot overemphasize what speed is on football today.
So just like the Northern squad, the South squad on the 4th down will go for it with less yardage. It was 4th and 5 for the North All-Stars, 4th down and 1. And Newton will keep the football and bully his way over the right side behind the right guard and tackle, and that'll be good enough for the 1st down. Painter again on the stop. Dylan Painter, the outside linebacker out of Fort Wayne Snyder High School. So they get the first down, second first down of this drive, and 5:50 with the clock running, and a quickly played first quarter of activity here. Now under center, Newton with some comments to his single setback. He drops back to throw, and the receiver, the intended receiver, Eric Williams, bumped, and apparently no foul. Curtis Hutchins out of Kokomo was the guy in the area.
Boy, Morgan takes a three-step drop.
Ball's in the air, he made contact. Okay.
So there is a marker down.
Yeah, there is a marker, Jerry.
I didn't see it. I see it now.
Lost it down.
I
need a captain over here. Obviously, you want a 15-yard penalty, lost it down, correct?
They're going to go against the South here.
Yes.
Well, they obviously said the South pushed off. I didn't get a great look at it.
Well, the player that we were focused on, Jan, I did not. I saw it the other way. Now, maybe there was another receiver that we were not wearing. There's the bump right there.
Yeah, great replay. They said that the South pushed off there a little bit with the contact, and so that goes a loss of down as well.
Yes, it's second down now. The ball spotted back inside the 45-yard line. Second down and 25. Newton's got a gun over the middle and threw it right into heavy traffic, and it's broken up. A couple of guys in there, one of which was 21 Nick Driscoll and 31 Phil Fresh. Fresh out of Chesterton, Driscoll out of Southwood. They were both in the area, and he'll break up that pass. That time Newton threw a pass that could well have been picked off.
Yeah, he did. He threw that into a crowd, and there we seen the arm strength of Morgan Newton, because boy, he shot that thing in there. But you're right, I'm not sure that was a great decision, because he was well covered.
5.5 minutes remain here in the opening quarter. No score. The Southern All-Stars with the football. They're in the all-white uniforms. The North Stars wearing the white trousers, the blue jerseys. It's third down, 25. Newton in a position where he's almost going to have to throw the football. Pressure coming. Newton fires. He's got a receiver. Can he get there? No, he cannot. The intended receiver was Tyrone Walker. And Walker just simply didn't have the guns to get there. Walker, number one in the state of Indiana in receiving yards per game this year with 126-2. He had almost 1,900 yards receiving, Jan, and 19 touchdowns. He was about a step and a half too slow.
Yeah, he was. And there we've seen Morgan Newton put a ball in the air 66 yards. Of course, all that's impressive, Jerry, but, one of the things that he's going to have to do is get it in their hands.
This will be the 10th play of the drive, and we're going to get a punting situation here for the South All-Stars. Josh Owen out of Appel, Indiana, standing on his own 30-yard line. Kicks it away from the 30, an end-over-end floater that hits at the 20-yard line and takes a nice Southern All-Star bounce down to just about the 15-yard line. Not a bad punt at all. We'll take a break. No score here in the North-South All-Star game, brought to you by Grange Insurance with 5:10 to go in the opening quarter of play. We're back now at North Central High School, and the first quarter is zipping right along, 5:10 to play in the opening period. Second possession for the North. That was a 41-yard punt. The total yardage for the South, Jan, was only 9 yards on that last possession. That big 15-yard penalty really hurt them.
It did. I thought they fell in love with the pass a little much, a little too much there. I'd like to see, he got some great running backs. I think they need to get the running game a little more involved.
Now I'm checking on the field, and I see Matt Lancaster. The North squad is out there. Matt, number 15 of the state in passing yards per game. Jan, he averaged 187.5. He passed for over 2,000 yards this year. Number 9, Matt Lancaster, 6'3", 190 out of West Lafayette High School.
Yeah, he's a very, very accurate passer. Had the privilege of watching him take on number 1 Sheridan and upset him at his place in a great game that we had on TV, and he's a very, very good quarterback. I'm surprised they're switching this early.
I figured it might go half and half or something, or quarter by quarter, but yeah, we're on the second possession seeing a change of quarterback. Up the middle, and a penalty flag comes in late as we pick up about 2 or 3 yards on the play.
15-yard face mask on defense, right?
Uh-oh. Defense grabbed the grill. You got to leave that thing alone. Got the hand up there.
Boy, I love having the officials, Mike. You're not trying to second guess in the press box.
Personal foul, defense.
Of course, as a player, when the officials, like in the pros, and give the number of the guy who makes the penalties. Players don't like that at all.
Well, back when you played, did you have numbers? Or weren't they numerical? It was XII or something?
Yeah, his Roman numerals. Yeah,
Roman numerals.
I had, like today, the same as the shirts. I have XXXX.
There's a look at it again. You pick up the penalty in there. Replays brought to you with the Shelbourne Knee Center. Thanks to the Shelbourne folks. Here's the pitch to the running back coming off of the near side. David Lees. Lee is going to be knocked down across the 35 to about 36-yard line. He'll get himself about a half a dozen yards on that play. Tackle on the play made by number 58. That's Kipindi Jamiru out of Indianapolis Cathedral. KJ, quite a football player.
Boy, he is. Going to Notre Dame, I believe. I'm going to call him KJ. I worked on his name all week, and I go, I'll just stick with KJ.
Oh, come on. You got to jump in and take a chance.
Greg, my friend down there, was my English teacher, tried to get me to say it. I go, nope, it's KJ tonight, buddy.
He's going to Purdue as a walk-on, and I'll tell you, with his talent, he might just walk onto that squad. Lancaster back to throw again. Lancaster still with it, finally does find an open receiver, and they got the first down, and a fumble on the football, picked up for the South squad.
Well, Jerry, that's what good hit. Oh, my goodness.
What a hit.
That's what football, that's just playing football. No matter what size you are, here's what good, clean, hard-hitting football will do for you.
Wow, what a hit that time. That is Ernie Morris out of Bloomington South, out of that great football program. He's only 5'10", 165 pounds, and he really lowered the boom. Let's go down to the field side now. Hey, here's Greg.
One of the great things that we see in this All-Star game every year, guys, is coaches getting to watch their players play as high school players for the last time. Mike Kirscher of Ben Davis has two guys in the South roster, Zach Bruce and Mike Malone, and what's it like seeing their final high school football game tonight?
Oh, it's absolutely a great thing to sit here on a Friday night and watch those two play one more time. They were great leaders for us last year. Michael's a great kid, and so Zach. They're both going on and probably have a great college career. And it's just fun to be out here on a Friday night in July watching a little football.
Of course, the bar is set so high at Ben Davis over the years. What's it like to get that thing going back to the right direction, getting to the semi-state a year ago?
Well, it felt really good, but it also at the same time was painful. Center Grove kind of put it to us in the Final Four, and our kids are hungry, and we'd like to try to get a little better again this year.
What are your expectations for 2010?
Expectations like they are always, and that's to get to the championship game in Lucas Oil in November.
Mike, great to see you. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Guys?
Rakestraw patrolling the sidelines, and that's a good point. For a lot of these kids, we mentioned they're going to school. That doesn't mean they're going to play football. So for a lot of these young men, this is their final, perhaps, bit of officially sanctioned activity.
Yeah, it really is, and it's a special time. Yeah, and there might be a few players out here still looking for a home, too.
Absolutely. Loss of a couple on that play. New quarterback Matt King is in now for the South All-Stars with 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Here's a fake to the deep back. King rolling left side, going to keep the football. He's got to run short or just close to the first down marker. Nice fake by King. He had a single setback back there with him. Faked the handoff, kept the football, and got himself about 9 yards.
Here's a great decision by Matt King. I'll get this one right. Now I know he's going to Indiana State.
Levi Armstrong out of Harrison. West Lafayette was the guy who forced him out of bounds. About a yard shy of that first down marker. So 3rd down and 1 yard to go. Matt King in now at quarterback for the Southern All-Stars. Matt, number 5 in the state in passing yards per game, over 233 yards per game. He passed for 2,800 yards and 46 touchdowns this past season. Here's a give to the single set back again. They've got Williams, Turner, Stucker, Fakes, and Brown that they will use out of that running back spot. A couple of those guys listed as fullbacks. That time it was Nick Turner carrying the football.
Jerry, as a defensive lineman, that you have a back that has the 3 steps that are just so unbelievably quick. And that's what happens here. Not a lot of hole, but he hits this hole so fast. From a defensive line standpoint, that's very, very difficult.
Nick Turner, 6th in the state in rushing yards per game. He had over 2,000 yards rushing, 187.5 average per game, and 26 passing. It's a 1st down and 10 situation. Running on the far side and being knocked down, Zane Fakes. And the tackle being made by Adam Middlesworth out of Oak Hill High School, a 6'1", 195-pound outside linebacker.
Zane Fakes from Plainfield. I believe he's going to Ball State, Jerry. And he may play some defense as well. He's a very good defense linebacker as well as a good running back.
Yep, Zane is headed for Ball State University. 6'3", 230, out of that good, strong Plainfield High School football program. Inside 3 minutes now in the first quarter. Still no score. South All-Stars in the white uniforms, the North in the blue jerseys. Fake on the handoff to the tailback. Running for his life, Matt King, and King's going to get the pass away, but it's to no avail. So a loss of down. It'll be 3rd down and 10 yards to go for the first down for the South All-Stars.
Great one-on-one coverage out there by Brandon Elliott from Plymouth. Really not much room to throw the ball. I think he just, for the most part, threw that one away, but great defense.
Well, that time King dropped back to throw, and you made reference to a secondary sack a while ago, which I think ought to be a stat that's kept more of. Generally, you give the sack to player A or player B, but a lot of those sacks and stops come because the quarterback's got nobody to throw the football to. Same scenario. Here is King. He had an outlet, got the pass complete to Fakes again, and Fakes is going to be down inside the 15 and close to first down territory. Stays inbounds, and the clock runs inside 2.5 minutes.
You know, in quarterbacks, you love the good arm, you love the good legs, but just knowing the game and being smart. He waited to the last second that time, Jerry, to get it to Fakes. Good decision and a great play. Still a little short of the first down. Let's see what they do here.
Teddy Stucker, number 32, comes in for the Southern All-Stars. Teddy is out of Brownstown Central, a 5'11", 230-pound fullback. So he will set up now in the backfield along with Matt King. King now up under center. They got trips in the backfield. They're going to hand the ball off, try to pick up the first down on the ground, and they're going to get the job done to the near side. And that'll be, I think it's Nick Turner. Nick Turner, the ball carrier for the Southern All-Star squad.
Well, he's got the first down. Now, Jerry, you know, we keep talking about speed. Look, nothing up the middle. That play was designed to go right up the middle, but he has the great footwork to be able to shift right outside. Great feet.
So they'll stop the clock with the player going out of bounds. 1:44 to go now. You may have noticed that one of the running backs out there, I think it was Stucker, turning his head to the near side, trying to get some kind of a call. And again, a terrific defensive pursuit by the North All-Stars. And that's Adam Chalfant out of Winchester High, a 6'3", 240-pounder. Great play.
Left-hand quarterback puts it only where his receiver can catch it. Is that a beautiful thing?
Absolutely gorgeous pass, touchdown pass to Dwight Wilson. There's a name we have not called yet, but Dwight Wilson's one of those guys we'll keep an eye on.
You're getting all excited about this Indiana State guy, aren't you,
Oh,
Jerry?
yeah,
I can see it in you. There's a glow to you tonight.
Well, we've been down for so long. Here's the point after. It is up, and it is good. Point after by Justin Moore out of Fishers High School. So the first score of the ball game on the touchdown pass. Let's take a look at it one more time here.
Well, this is no accident. Here's a gentleman who's thrown for just shy of 8,000 yards. He's 12th all-time in the state of Indiana throwing the football, so he knows how to get it done.
Well, he hit him right on the numbers, too. Dwight Wilson. We were talking about Dwight. He was the state long jump champion this past season, past June. He jumped 22 feet, 10.5 inches. Didn't have to jump very far that time, Jan. But right to the corner of the front corner of the end zone, found his spot, kept both feet in bounds.
You know, Jerry, took a little while to get some points on the scoreboard tonight. I thought we'd have probably a little more scoring, but right now it's just a 7-0 ball game.
15-yard touchdown pass, 8 plays covering 65 yards. King to Wilson, 15-yard touchdown pass. They kept the ball 3 minutes and 5 seconds, so neither team has kept the ball particularly long, and that's just the second possession for the South All-Stars.
You know, you see real close-ups of the helmets. You go, well, what in the world happened to all those helmets? It's kind of a tradition that all the mascots, they take them off the helmet and move them around, and so you wonder what in the world happened to their helmets. It's really a tradition in the All-Star game that they move the mascots all around. That's why the helmets look a little clouded tonight.
Justin Moore out of Fishers, 1-hour kickoff for the Southern All-Stars. First score of the game with 1:39 to go here in the first quarter of this game.
Sorry, John, I was just going to say the very first All-Star from Fishers.
Which is terrific.
Justin Moore boots it through the end
He's
zone.
the only kicker that Fishers has ever had in their existence of varsity football.
20-yard line.
Of course, Fisher's one of the newer programs in moving up to the point where they can have a football squad.
He's a fine kicker, too.
Out of the end zone. I was watching him during warm-ups, nailing the ball very well. So they'll get the ball, the North will, on their 20-yard line. The first time they had the football, they punted. Second time, they fumbled it away. Actually, they didn't punt on that first possession. They went for it on 4th down and 5 and had to turn the ball over.
Close to 3 yards.
Taylor Brothwell out of Heritage Hills on the tackle that time. Clock winding down to 1:25.
Yeah, Heritage Hills with a sectional championship this year, and he was a big part of that. Did a nice job of shedding his block that time to get that tackle.
I'll give him credit for 3 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7 with 1:05 to play now in the first half of this game. Single setback. Lancaster back to throw again. Has some protection. Has the pass complete. Over across the 40, out to the 42-yard line. Beautiful play.
It's a great pass by Lancaster. We talked about his percentage is 56% completion. And boy, he just laid that one, Jerry, right in the hands of the receiver, right in stride. That's that touch pass we're talking about that college coaches want out of their quarterbacks.
About a 22-yard pickup on that play. And again, out of the I formation, 1st down and 10 with less than 45 seconds to play now in the opening half. They'll keep the ball on the ground, grind it out for another half a dozen yards or so, and the South says they have the football back. I'm hearing a whistle, but I'm not seeing any indication of a fumble. Take a look at the replay again.
5-yard gain.
There you see just another good hole.
Yeah, they're saying he was down.
You know, Jerry, the North offensive line's actually doing a little better. Not that I didn't think they'd do pretty well tonight, but they're doing a little better handling the line of scrimmage than I thought perhaps they would.
Carlton Austin was the ball carrier on that play. Austin stays in now at the fullback spot. And a wide out set wide to the left side and right side at the top of your screen. Likewise, this will be the final play of the first quarter. Lancaster back to throw and did not do a very good job of finding receiver. He had Kevin Pyatt in the area, but underthrew him, and that'll take care of play here in the first quarter of play. So after one on that 15-yard touchdown pass to Wilson, to Weiss Wilson, it's a 7-0 football game with the Southern All-Stars on top here in the Granger Insurance All-Star Classic. We're back now at North Central High School, and portions of today's game, Grange Insurance All-Star Game, brought to you by the Shelbourne Knee Center at Methodist Hospital. Don't trust knee pain to just anyone. Call the knee specialist at the Shelbourne Knee Center. Call 888-FIX-KNEE. Call them today. Long pass upfield, and boy, that looked at the last moment that the defender in the area, Jan, may have touched the receiver. The officials were right on top of it, and one of the Southern All-Stars, take a look right at the end of the play here. Does he touch him or not? Right about here. Yeah, he does. He does. That was the defensive player over there, number 89 for the North, and
I rest my case, Jerry.
Yep.
The replay doesn't lie.
Yep, that was, in fact, that was the intended receiver on the play, Austin Coleman. So basically, it would have been offensive pass interference.
Yeah, I believe he may have got away with one there.
4th down and 5.
You know, a lot of that decisions they based upon, is it a catchable ball?
Yeah, and I'm not sure that one was.
Yeah.
Here is the punt taken just inside the 20, spotted down about the 19-yard line. So once again, the North not able to do anything with the football. They turned it over on downs, the first possession, fumbled on the second possession, then punted it away on the third possession for the North All-Stars. So the South back in control again.
Well, you know, one of the things I thought the North needed to do, Jerry, was to get some clock, get some drives going, and quite honestly, they still have not been able to do that so far tonight.
We were critical early. We thought perhaps Morgan Newton was trying to force the football with too much passing, but the North has not been able to move, as Jan points out, the football either through the air or on the ground. So South has it again, back on.
Fumble.
Here's a fumble, and the indications are the North says they have it, and they do.
Wow, that's a big break. That's exactly what the North needed. They're going to get great field position out of this, Jerry. Let's see what happened. I'll tell you what happened. A nice hit is what happened. Billy Baker, I believe, number 65 from Belmont. I hope I got that right because he just really put a nice clean hit on Morgan Newton and caused the fumble.
Billy Baker, only 230 pounds. He's 6'1" out of Belmont High School, and that turns things around in a hurry. So now the North gets the football back again on the 19-yard line. And they'll run it, handing off now to George Ezel on the left side, and he got nailed. All of a sudden, the defense. Jen, I think back to one of the questions I asked you earlier as you watch the South number 6, Josh Collier from Edgewood, 6', 195 pounds, make that stop. Who had the advantage, offense or defense? Right now, defense in control of the football game.
You know, no question about it. And what you love to see in the football games is good, hard, clean hitting. And right now, I think it's picked up a notch.
That's the first play of the drive. It did gain a couple of yards. So it's 2nd down and 8 with the ball on the 17. We're in the second quarter of play. 12-minute quarters, just like in regular high school play. They'll give to the tailback, and there's just nowhere to go. Ezel, again, the ball carrier in the middle of that South All-Star line, comes in to knock him away.
Big number 92, Zach Bruce, one of the tacklers out there from Ben Davis, really stays low. And that's one of the things, Jerry, these seniors will really have to learn in a hurry that will go to the next level. If you don't stay low in high school, sometimes you get away with it. In college, you won't get away with it.
Well, I've always said that the jump from high school to college and then from college to pros is not a jump. It's a humongous leap. It's just night and day. Now the official going to call a timeout on his own. One of the players of the North Stars having some trouble with a shoelace.
Ready?
And it is George Ezel. Now we're ready to go again. 10-18, second quarter, 7-0 with the South All-Stars on top. North with it, best position they've had of the game. Titus.
Oh, gorgeous.
Oh, beautiful pass play. Completed that time to Kevin Pyatt.
Absolutely gorgeous pass. Jared, we got some fine quarterbacks out here tonight. We thought they'd put on a show, and so far they're not letting us down. Take a look here. Just a two-step drop right in stride, just the way you would draw it up.
Well, that didn't take long, did it?
No, and that's exactly what the North needed to get in this ball game, is to put some points. They capitalized on that turnover and put it in for 6.
Jake Lazar will come in now to put the point after on the scoreboard for the North All-Stars. He's a 6'2", 170-pounder out of Western High School. Of course, all these young men that we're talking about are seniors. Out of the hole to Kevin Pyatt. Movement on the defensive side of the football. Where they draw it off? That's the question right now. Nope, it's going to be offside against the South.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense. Captain, you want to keep it or go yard and a half forward? Keep it where you can't keep the point, but you want to where the ball's at or yard and a half forward? Keep it.
That one confuses me.
He said, do you want the point?
Yeah, because if you decline it,
that is a little confusing terminology there, because if the whistle had already blown the play dead. Here's the point after, and it is good. So just like that, based on the terrific hit put on by one of the North players, Janda got great field position on the 19-yard line and turned it into a touchdown, and that's exactly what they had to have happen.
Boy, they really did. Here's a look from the end zone camera, just right in stride. Great route, puts it right in his hands, and the North put some points on the board. And boy, you know, as I was looking down at the touchdown, Jerry, I had not recognized how many people now are with us. This place has really got a beautiful crowd.
Yes, terrific crowd. All right, only 3 plays covering 19 yards. The pass complete to number 85, Kevin Pyatt. Time of possession only 1 minute and 46 seconds, and that's exactly what the North squad needed.
They did it in a hurry, and once again, as you talked about, it was all set up by the defense and a turnover.
Eric Williams will be one of the deep men now for the South All-Stars. Expect they have 3 guys deep back there. Nick Turner likewise in the area. And I think Morgan Cook is back there also. So here comes the kickoff. They'll keep it on the ground. A whistle will stop play.
I believe the football may have fell down right before he kicked it. Let's take a look if I'm right. I am right. Man, my eye doctor is going to be so proud of me. I thought for sure that thing fell over right before he kicked it. Yeah, there might be a little more wind. Yeah, there's the flag. Yeah, there is a pretty good breeze out there. Look at the flags.
They'll bring in George Ezell to hold on to the football. We're outside the press box. We can see the wind blowing some of the ladies' long hair. Wouldn't be blowing yours around out there, Jan. But
no.
Here's the kick taken right at the goal line, stepping into the end zone. Now coming back out across the 15, the 20, the 25. And a nice return, about a 26 or 27-yard return that time.
You know, Mr. Momentum has really shifted over to the North squad here. Really, the South's going to have to get something going, or the North may take over this ball game. Nice return by the South up to the 25.
That was George Cheeseborough. I was looking on my notes here because I didn't see him listed. We were talking before the game. George Cheeseborough was listed as a cornerback out of Warren Central, but he's a great running back.
Oh, yes, he is. Both the running backs are here tonight.
So they get the ball on the 25-yard line this time.
Fumble.
And I thought I saw a penalty flag come in likewise. Maybe they're just marking the ball down.
The snap. It'll be a 2-yard loss.
Fumble on the snap. Morgan Newton having trouble with the exchange. And loss of a couple of yards. Second down and 12.
Covered up by Hinton.
Jerry, I just don't think he ever had it when he pulled out. I just really don't think he ever got a good connection on the football from center. Boy, the South cannot afford to have another turnover this deep in the territory again, that's for sure.
9.5 minutes to go here in the first half. 7-7 football game, the Grange Insurance All-Star Classic. And the pass caught momentarily, and as the receiver went back up to grab it, he was hit from behind by one of the defenders and knocked it loose. Looked like Lance Lemire out of Crown Point, the inside linebacker.
Yeah, that ball looked catchable to me, a little high, that's for sure. But, you know, one of the things I sense right now, and I thought the South they need to really get into a pretty good rhythm offensively, and they've just not did that so far, Jerry. And of course, alternating quarterbacks every possession, that makes it even a little more difficult.
Absolutely.
To do that.
They used Morgan Newton to start the game. Then they went to Matt King on the second possession. And then back to Morgan Newton now. The fourth time the South has had the football. Last time doesn't really count. They only had it one play and had the fumble. Here's the interception. Picked off in there by 39. That's Keith Dockery. And Dockery out of Merrillville High School, a 6 foot, 170-pound cornerback. Picks it off, and Jen, he read that beautifully. From our vantage point, you could almost read the eyes of Morgan Newton. He had singled out at one receiver to go to, and that's where Dockery was.
That's just beautiful defense. You teach your defensive backs, Jerry, to keep your eyes glued on that ball, and he read that absolutely perfect and picked it off. And boy, here's the blue team, the North, knocking on the door.
They had shown nothing in the first half or three quarters of the first quarter, and all of a sudden with that big turnover on that terrific hit, they take it in from 19 out, they get the touchdown, and now they got a first and goal from the 2-yard line, and they'll take it right inside and get the touchdown. That is Carlton Austin from 2 yards out.
Well, the North's defense is a good offense for them because they've certainly provided that offense with 2 big turnovers, good field position out of the turnovers, and boy, offensively, when you need 2 or 3 yards, that makes it a lot easier. So boy, the North right now, Jerry, really with the momentum and now the lead.
Now we'll try the point after. Jake Lazar out of Western High School will again attempt the point after. And once again, out of the hold of 85, Kevin Pyatt. Here's the kick. It is up. It is good. So we'll take a break. 9 minutes, 11 seconds to go. Second quarter of play. The Grange Insurance All-Star Classic. And the North Stars have scored back-to-back touchdowns, and they lead it now 14-7. Welcome back to North Central High School. Portions of today's Grange Insurance All-Star Game are brought to you by the Shelbourne Knee Clinic at Methodist Hospital, world-class care right in your backyard, and by Ponderosa Steakhouse, land of choice, home of the platter. Brad Silbert is handling our stats for us up here today. Brad's working his self to death up here. Things are happening in a hurry.
Brad does a great job with the stats.
Well, that last one was pretty easy, though. The one play, he handled that with great esteem. 9:11 to go now here in the second quarter. And what was a 7-0 football game, and it looked like the South was in complete control. All of a sudden, the North has come storming back in here. Here's the kick taken by the South All-Stars. Running room over the right side out across the 30-yard line. So the South will get some good field position as they get the football now for the fourth time, make it the fifth time.
Here you see the run back by the South. You know, Jerry, we spend all week analyzing, looking at players, trying to figure out who might be dominant, who may not be. And boy, I was talking to Greg Rakestraw. You go, man, this South team looks loaded. All it takes is a few big hits, some turnovers, and just like that, this game is in favor of the North.
We're going to find out if they're loaded or not, I guess, right now. 28 yards on the kickoff return, 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. Here's the handoff. The play was designed to go to the right side, instead comes back to the near side, and Zane Fakes will get it out across the 45. Good enough for the first down.
Well, Ball State's got to be happy with that run. Zane Fakes, take a look at it here from the shotgun. Here you see Fakes from Plainfield. There's a good cut back outside, no running room inside. You know what I like about this is he tries to finish. Good runners want to finish.
13 yards on the rush out to the 46-yard line, 1st down and 10. Fakes the ball carrier. He was 7th in the state in rushing yards per game with over 2,200 yards this past season. King rolls right side, has nowhere to go, picks up a block or two. Oh my goodness, what a block. Here's the pass complete over on the near side to Dwight Wilson. Let me give credit, who was that? 76 for the South All-Stars is Robbie Piper out of Perry Central, 6'4", 383 pounds. Watch him here, Jan, right in. He's going in right now in the green helmet. Boom.
Hello. Oh my goodness.
Robbie Piper, Perry Central, 383.
Now we're talking, Jerry.
Oh my.
Those are the types of people that are coming to my buffet.
Are you kidding? They only allow one of you at a time. There he is right there.
There's a great look.
What a terrific block. 26
Outstanding.
yards on the play. And now the South with all those guns we talked about. Going to keep the ball on the ground, and while the defense came storming in there in a hurry, the defense tackle Adam Chalfant. Down to the field, Greg Rakestraw. Greg.
Thank you very much, Jerry. A special guest joining us. This is maybe a name and a face you don't know, but football coaches around the state know him for the work that he does with the Central Indiana chapter of the National Football Foundation. Executive Director Jeff Bradley joining us, and for those who don't know about the National Football Foundation, tell us about it.
Okay, thanks. Greg, we have a chapter here in Indianapolis. It's about 144 high schools in the Central Indiana area. Every year in February, we have a banquet at the Colts Complex where we honor outstanding academic achievement as well as football ability for our high school guys in the area.
And it's one of the cooler things I get to do each and every year. I'm on a selection committee that's involved with this great award as we see an interception. Let's throw it back out to the booth quickly.
Well, the interception was made by the North's Greg Heben, but I'm not sure, Greg, it's going to stand up because there's a penalty marker. Let's wait till we get the call from the official. We'll come back down to you for a second if you don't mind. I thought I saw the offensive player shove off here, Jan.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, Jerry. If this is not offensive interference, I might be a little surprised. It looks like it from that angle. Let's wait and see what they say.
Well, the official went down and picked up the flag.
It has to be, or they would be redoing it.
So the interception will stand.
Yep.
Greg, are you still down there, buddy?
I'm with you, Jerry, and again, Jeff Bradley joining us again. And again, there's a lot of kids that are playing in this game that you've seen a little resume, if you will, of kids that were part of that Scholar Athletics Award banquet you had back at the end of February.
That's right. We've had Zane Fakes. I've seen him out here. There's a few other kids in the area that I know are on the South team. They do a great job in the classroom as well as on the field, and that's what we honor them for.
And there's our website for more information about the National Football Foundation.
Footballfoundation.com.
All right, Jeff, good to see you, buddy.
Thank you very much, Greg.
All right, Jerry.
Thank you, Greg. Greg Rakestraw patrolling the sideline.
Still first down on snap.
Chad Boser up in the booth. I'm Jerry Baker. Good to have you along tonight. Ball will be spotted back at the 23-yard line. Loss of 5. It'll still be a first down, and 15 yards. Well, that South squad that was so explosive, all of a sudden, Jan, they have the interception. Boom, now North's got it again.
Well, turnovers of really starting to haunt the South Ball Club.
Well, that's 3 consecutive plays. They had a fumble, then an interception, and another interception following that 15-yard touchdown pass to Dwight Wilson that gave him a 7-0 lead early in the football game. South, number 94, Mike Malone out of Ben Davis. One of a couple of Ben Davis kids on the south side of the football defensively. Makes the stop that time. Pick up of 1, 2nd down and 14. As the clock moves inside 7 minutes here in the second quarter.
We've called Mike Malone's name 2 or 3 times tonight on some good stops. Boy, he's a big guy as well. 6'3", 305. Got him listed at St. Joseph's.
Lancaster in now quarterbacking for the Northern All-Stars. Comes out of the flat on the near side. Pass complete to Austin Coleman. Yep. Coleman was in the area with the intended receiver, didn't manage to hang on to it.
There might have been some miscommunication there because the receiver started to go inside and the quarterback, I think, thought he was going to break outside and just throws it over his head.
You know, that particular play, the one they just tried to run there, Jan, is one they ran extensively when I was down watching the North All-Stars practice. And what they're supposed to do, the outside receiver, he takes 1 step forward, then looks inside, and is supposed to go catch the pass and go inside on that play. That's the way it's designed. In fact, Rich Dodson had him run it about a half a dozen times because they weren't doing it the way he wanted it done. Ball start, move back 5 more. Rich Dodson, 26th active all-time wins leader, 169 wins, 50 losses in 17 years, and he's retired. So he is not going to be the coach at Northwood anymore. Scott Hoover will move up to that job. Rich out of Avon High School. He played in this all-star game back in '94. He was the assistant for 10 years at Northwood. And interestingly enough, across the line of scrimmage, Nate Andrews, one of the assistants for the South, is his stepson.
That's amazing.
Well, we'll give a mention to all the assistant coaches as we have an opportunity. Here is Lancaster back to throw on 3rd down and 19. Boy, he's got all kinds of pressure on him over there. Zach Bruce out of Ben Davis, one of the guys in the area. And did they get the first down? They made the pass. Well, that's a good throw in there by Lancaster.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, you can see why Ben Davis was pretty good defensively, Jerry. 2 defensive tackles, and Zach Bruce and Mike Malone right now are giving Mr. Lancaster a little bit of trouble.
Mitchell Petrie, who's one of the 2 tight ends along with Gary Dykos, goes 18 yards on that pass reception. It'll be 4th down and 1, but the ball is shy of the 50-yard line. So now, Jan, what are you going to do? You going to punt it away here? Looks like that's what they're lined up to do.
Yeah, I was starting to say that's exactly what I would do. The North struggle a little bit right now. Field position with the lead is where certainly you would go here. I would agree with this.
Brandon Williams out of Northwood High, 6'2", 195, listed as the punter for the North All-Stars. Gets a good snap, and he just almost had that ball. What a beautiful kick.
Wow.
I mean, a perfect spiral that goes out of bounds.
Oh, my goodness.
Inside the 10 at about the 6-yard line. That was sensational.
What a punt, Jerry. Let's do the math on that, baby. What is that?
Well, let's see. It's down to the 6 from the...
He kicks it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
57. Is that what it is? 57 yards.
57 yards. Brad, my math teacher there. Woo! Boy, and I'll tell you, he just did get it off.
I thought for a moment he'd taken 1/2 second too long.
Oh, my goodness. The pressure was certainly there. But what an outstanding punt.
In fact, they're going to spot it pretty much on the 5-yard line. So just an outstanding punt. And the spiral just kept it in the air forever. 5 minutes, 29 seconds to play here in the second quarter. A 14-7 football game. If you're just joining us, this is the Grange Insurance All-Star Classic. The North Stars and the South Stars going after each other. And this is the 43rd year that they have played. The South leads the series 23-19. The South won last year 34-14.
You know, for an all-star game, this has been a good football game. You know, not a lot of time to prepare, been a lot of good hits, good play, and you just never know sometimes in an all-star game. Sometimes they can get lopsided, but this has been a dandy ball game so far.
Well, the turnovers, which no coach wants to see, have really made this game more exciting than perhaps it should have been, because the South, as you pointed out, Jan, halfway through the first quarter was the dominant football team.
Well, you're right, and I think the North team heard me say who I thought was going to be the dominant football team. They go, wait a minute.
Not yet.
Not yet. They've played very, very well so far.
Let me give the assistant coaches a little howdy-do here. For the North, John Snyder of Chesterton, Mike Campbell of Jimtown, Bob James Laporte, Tony Bergman of Belmont, Jeremy Flowers of Harrison West Lafayette, and Dan Snyder of Southwood. Those are all the assistant coaches for the North. We'll get the South in a moment or so. Here's the pitch into the end zone a couple of yards deep. Coming out is Eric Williams. Williams turns the corner, gets out across the 15 to about the 17-yard line. That's a gain of about a dozen yards, good enough for the first down.
You know what I like? With all the microphones we have around the stadium here, you hear the crowd, ooh and oh. You know why? Because of that. Another smashing clean hit. These guys are really putting on a performance with great hitting.
Eric Williams, 21st in the state in rushing yards per game. He had a season of 1,715 yards total, an average of just about 132 yards a game and 21 touchdowns this past year. Eric Williams gets the first down. It's out about the 17-yard line. 1st and 10 now with 5:22 to play in the first half. Dancing up the middle again is Eric Williams. Stay with us at halftime, by the way. We'll have some special activities for you. The tackle that time, but 21, Nick Driscoll out of Southwood High School. The assistant coaches for the South, for Larry McWhorter, Herb King of Rockville, Ty Hunt of Indianapolis Cardinal Ritter, Hamilton Heights Jason Simmons, Nate Andrews of LaPel, Justin Olson Zionsville, and Brian Balsmeyer out of Paoli High School. All assistants for Larry McWhorter, who's the head coach of that good Zionsville football program.
Of course, Jason Simmons now will be the first, his first year head coach at Hamilton Heights. He was with Ben Davis for a lot of years before, now taking the head job at Hamilton Heights.
That's not a bad training ground background,
No, it's not. Of course, he came from Hamilton Heights as assistant to Ben Davis.
Second down and 9. Keep the ball on the ground. Get maybe a yard. He tackled that time.
Ricky Taylor, number 95.
You know, Jerry, with 4 minutes and 23 seconds, the South doesn't have to be in a lot of hurry, but they need to get some yardage here. They've really not got on track here in the second period offensively at all.
Ricky Taylor was the guy that brought down the run at that time. Ricky, a 6'4", 285-pounder out of South Bend St. Joe. Rapidly approaching the 4-minute mark now in the second quarter. 14-7 football game in favor of the North. North in the blue jerseys, South in the white. South has rotated Morgan Newton and Matt King at the quarterback spot. Out of the shotgun, this is Morgan Newton. Newton looking to pick up some yardage. Overthrew the intended receiver that time. He had a guy out there, Ryan Plotz.
Boy, just once again, lots of time for Morgan Newton. And he had a man wide open, just couldn't get him the ball. Morgan's kind of struggled here a little bit, Jerry, in the first half of hitting his receivers.
Ryan Pletz, number 84, the intended receiver that time. So a fourth down, and this is a punting situation, obviously. It's deep in your own territory, and the South will send in number 30, Josh Owen. At LaPel High School, playing his assistant coach in this game, Nate Andrews, the head coach at LaPel.
I'm telling you, the South's going to have to be careful, and this is not a good punt.
High in the air. In fact, I'm not sure a lot of the North players knew exactly where it was. It's going to turn out to be, Jan, yardage-wise, a much better punt than it actually was.
They got an awful good bounce. Boy, if you're the North, you're salivating right now with 3:36 on the board. You've got lots of time. You got great field position, and you can put some more points on the board here. That really give the South their backs against the wall going into the second half.
It's about a 32-yard punt, Brad tells us. All right, so we'll see what the North can get done here. Again, the North's All-Stars. Rotating Matt Lancaster, number 9. And 13, Skyler Titus. The North with the football now, with the ball on the 48-yard line.
Crosses the midfield stripe into South territory.
I don't know.
Picked up 7 yards.
He was stopped initially.
Tackle made by Luke Harris.
Well, that's an interesting play.
Second
3:09 to go now here in the first half. Let's go back down to the field. Here's Greg.
Well, our timing couldn't have been better. That last tackle was made by former Whiteland Warrior Luke Harrison, his former high school head coach Darren Fisher joining us. Coach, congratulations on a great season last year, and you got a couple of kids going to play Division I or Division I AA football. Talk about what last year was like for you.
Well, it was a great year. You know, we had 31 seniors. They were a great group of young men. They were great students. They were great people. They made our whole school better, and they really did a nice job in our program, and we're going to miss them a lot, all of them, all 31 of them.
It's a big move you're making this year. You're making the jump from 4A to 5A. What does that mean for your program?
Well, I think we're ready from a work habit standpoint, from a tradition standpoint, and, you know, now we just have to, you know, you always want to be playing your best football when the tournament comes. I don't think that'll be any different for us. And our conference, the Mid-State Conference, is always difficult, and, you know, our two non-conference games, it'll have us ready. We'll be ready to go.
It's always great to see you. Congratulations on a great season this year.
Thank you very much. We appreciate everything you've done for high school football.
Got it, Jerry?
Greg Rakestraw, sideline coverage for us. I would imagine that most of the kids' coaches are here tonight, wouldn't you think?
Oh, I've seen Bud Wright, seen a lot of coaches. You know, Jerry, the question that Greg had there is a very interesting one. How big a jump is that 4A to 5A for schools in the teams that you have to play? And certainly to get to the dome, you got to go through some very big schools.
And the further you go in that tournament, the tougher it gets. Here's again the handoff to the tailback, George Ezel. Ezel over the left side. He'll get himself 4 or 5 yards likewise. And once again, the stop being made by Tyler Boyd out of Avon High School. Boy, the Orioles had a nice year. That's a nice football program likewise on the west side of Indy.
Yeah, that Hoosier Crossroads Conference between them and Southeastern last year really had some good football played.
Jen, now I'm a little surprised that they haven't picked up the pace of this game offensively. They being North, we're inside 2 minutes now, and there appears to be no hurry whatsoever for the North Stars. Now they've got the lead at 14-7, but wouldn't you love to have it 21-7 go into the locker room at halftime?
Well, you got to think they would, but you're right. They're not in any hurry here. Here's that same play. I think you said that they practiced on it. I don't think they've connected yet on it.
That pass intended for Austin Coleman. The whole deal is that receiver out there takes one step forward to try to get the safety that's come up on him to react to it. Then he turns inside, makes a couple of steps, and he's supposed to take the pass in there and come up the middle. But that's just not working at all.
The timing plays will obviously be a little tougher tonight. I mean, the things that you work on all season long, you got a week to prepare for. So that's a good timing play. They've just not been able to connect on it.
Fifth play of the series now. Actually, fifth play of the series coming up, and we're going to get a timeout.
Called by the North squad.
Now the North takes a timeout, Jerry, with a minute 41, but I thought they kind of let a couple minutes go by there that perhaps maybe I'd open it up a little more.
Well, let's set the scenario for you. First off, the South All-Stars scored first in this game to take a 7-0 lead on a pass to Dwight Wilson for 15 yards out. Made it 7-0 in the game. The next two possessions for the South, well, the next four, as a matter of fact, were not very good, Jan. They fumbled on the first play in their third possession, then interception, and they had to punt it away last time. And for the North, as you look at this one touchdown pass by the North All-Stars, they scored with in the second quarter with 10:09 to go, a 19-yard touchdown pass to Titus made it 7-7. Then Austin, they came right back and got the turnover. Then Austin goes in from 2 yards out and makes it a 14-7 game.
Of course, one of those fumbles was truly by a super hit. Forced, those fumbles sometimes I look like sometimes they're forced, sometimes they're unforced.
Boom, that's the one.
There's
the
one. That right now to me has been a game changer play. It really has been. It got the North right back in this football game, and now they've taken the momentum and got the lead.
Let's see what they can do in a final minute 41 now, the first half of the play. Titus is back. He's got a little protection, collapses. Now he's going to keep the football, and he'll get nailed at the 35-yard line. Well, they've got timeouts left. The tackle that time with the South's number 38, Luke Harris, out of Whiteland High, 6-footer, 208. And they're still letting the clock run. It's down to 1:20.
That's fourth down for the North Ball Club, Jerry. This will be decision time for them.
And now they'll take the timeout. Maybe the South. Yeah, the South's going to take the timeout.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Well, it's interesting from this standpoint, Jan. We talked, and Greg may mention this likewise. The South has some real guns in the fact quarterback to Morgan Newton, and they've got running backs Williams and Turner, and Fakes has done a nice job. So they can move the ball up the field. We witnessed that the last possession. Then they had the interception down about the goal line. So South takes it there, so each club has 2 timeouts left.
Well, let's see what the North has in their playbook for this. You got to get the first down. That's the most important thing here, Jerry, is you got to get the first down, 4th and 5. So you need your best 5 to 6 yard play. Get the first down. You still have plenty of time, and I think that's what they'll look for. Get it across the first down and get yourself a first down.
Now you're assuming, Jan, that they're going to go ahead and run the play. They're not going to kick it away?
I don't think so.
Yeah, we'll find out here.
Jerry, what do you think?
If I were doing it, I would. Of course, I'm a shotgun gambler, man. I'd go for 4th and 20 from your own 5 yard line. So I'm the last guy you want to ask.
I think I know what I do. Of course, nobody ever asked me, but I think I go for it here.
And I'm looking. I don't see Lazar or checking Brandon Williams out there, number 27 for the North. So you may be right, Jan. They may be. Well, what it'll also do is eat up some time, even if they don't make it.
Absolutely. It eats some clock. They still have plenty of time if they get the first down.
Titus under center. Carlton Austin is the running back there with him. They give the ball to Austin, and he kept the football. Titus kept it. What a great fake.
That was a super fake.
And Titus gets the first down. Look at this again. I swore that Austin had it. And so did everybody else in white.
You and 11 shirts in white, and me too. But what a super fake. Those are the things of football that just make all the difference in the world. A big-time fake gets them a first down and great field position for the North.
Our replay brought to you by JES and Sons. JES and Sons helping Indiana to communicate since 1976.
Jerry, you see why I thought they should kick the
I
ball?
see, absolutely.
I wish it were that easy.
18 yards on that fake that time. This time there is no fake. They will hand the ball off in the backfield to Austin, and he'll get basically nothing. May have lost a yard, and we're at exactly a minute to go. And the tackle by 64, Chris Jones out of Brownsburg, and 46, Jordan Ridley out of Lawrence Central High School.
Yeah, Chris Jones from Brownsburg made a great stop, really filled the hole there. Of course, Brownsburg, another one of those schools in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference, along with Avon, Southeastern, Noblesville, Zionsville.
It suddenly hit me, Jen, I'm sitting here saying, well, they got a good program. Well, they got a good program. And then it suddenly hit me, almost everybody inside of 465 and all the surrounding communities attached have all got good football programs. It used to be you could look at it and say, okay, this team or this team or this team is going to win and they're going to go to the Dome. You can't say that anymore.
No, you really can't. And the level of football in a lot of these conferences has just elevated itself.
Carson Agency of Indianapolis.
They've held the ball for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. They've run 7 plays in this series.
The South really does not want another score here. They're going to have to really tighten it up here, Jerry.
Well, this series began for the North on their own 48-yard line. And this will be the 8th play of the series. As we pointed out, they've kept possession for over 2.5 minutes.
Second and 9.
And they've done a nice job of working the clock. You and I were both suspect for a while. They let a lot of seconds run away, but apparently they knew what they were doing. Here's the pass to Ezell on the far side. Ezell gets himself 4 or 5 more yards, and the clock moves down inside 45 seconds. Anthony Elias of Cedar Grove on the stop that time for the Southern squad.
Titus does a nice job. We talked about the good touch pass, and that's exactly what Titus did that time.
And one of the Northern players are down on the field.
There you go.
Getting up and heading off, and that is George Ezell.
Well, that is just absolutely the last thing you want to see in this ball game is anybody get injured.
Absolutely. Ezell out of Calumet High School, a 6'2", 190-pounder. He's headed to Iowa Western.
Also a big thank you to Sports Reps, Chick-fil-A.
Dan, you're right. This crowd is very, very nice tonight.
Well, you look at both sides, and then you look around the field, and there's what a super, and that's great for the game and for the benefit the proceeds go to. It's gotten bigger every year, and I think the fact we're playing on Friday night, it makes it much more accessible for people to get here, and it's cooler.
I was going to say, Jen, the key word there is cooler.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You know, it's not that 95-degree temperature. In fact, the teams couldn't have asked for a better week to get ready for this game. Lobbing it toward the end zone, out of the outstretched arms that time. They were trying to get the ball down deep into the corner, and they missed the receiver down there. There's 81. That's Marcus Nichols they were trying to get to. Cheeseborough was the guy that was in the area at that time, and now the clock will stop with 40.6 remaining here in the first half.
Marcus Nichols from Gary West, going to Western Michigan. So that stops the clock.
4th and 7 for the North.
Whoa.
Oh, ouch. That's being in the wrong place at the right time.
Well, we'll try the field goal from 20 yards out. This will be a 30-yard field goal attempt. Lazar is the kicker. It is up plenty of distance, and it is good.
Wow.
Well, did we see a penalty marker come down?
31-yard field goal.
Roughing the kicker, so we assess it at the kickoff, right?
So officially a 31-yard field goal. And now, Chad, it's 17-7 ball game.
Let's take a look at the penalty here, roughing the kicker.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, no question. Boy, it went right in his knee, too.
You saw the Southern defender, Josh Collier, come firing in from the left side. Well, this game has done a complete 180.
Yeah, there's no question about that. The North is taking advantage of the turnovers, and they've got some momentum, and they've got a nice rhythm offensively.
So they got the ball on their own 48, marched it upfield. The play kind of ran out of steam, and they had to settle for the 31-yard field goal, but at least, Jan, they came away with something.
Well, it's important for the North to get some points, and that's exactly what they did.
Looking down to the sideline, the gentleman they were focused on down there was Paul Logan, the assistant athletic director. He's the game director for this thing. Boy, there's not a nicer guy in all of sports than Paul Logan. And he and Chuck Jones, Chuck's the AD here at North Central. I've never seen a twosome work together much better than those two guys. There he is right there in the white shirt. A 10-yard drive covering only 34 yards, 31-yard field goal, time of possession 3 minutes.
Of course, the penalty. They'll move it up some more, right? Yeah.
Yep, they'll take the penalty now on the kickoff. That'll bring it across to the 45 of the south side of the line of scrimmage.
Still another whole half to play, Jerry, but you got to say going out of this first half, at least so far, the North has did the better job.
I agree. Stay with us at halftime. Greg will have some special features for you, including a little trip down to Camp Riley. And this kick will go completely out of the end zone. It's one of the signs. Like it may have gone through the crossbar. So let's see what the South has got. Now, what do you want to do here, Jan? You've got 2 timeouts left. You've got 36.4 seconds to go. You going to take a knee and just get the heck out of Dodge, or you want to try to pick something up here?
I would say in the All-Star game, I'd try to do something.
I agree.
I probably wouldn't in a normal regular season game, but in a game like this, there's so many good athletes, and you can make big plays in a hurry. I think you take a couple looks.
Well, let's see who they got in at quarterback. Morgan Newton is the guy with the strong arm. Let's see if they go with Newton on this particular series because of the strength of that arm.
No, it's not.
It is not him. No. It's Matt King. So Matt King will be the quarterback. He's out of Rockville High, a 6'3", 175-pounder. They have rotated quarterbacks right through the get-go in this game. Coming to the near side, and the pass intended for but incomplete. Nick Turner was the guy they were throwing the football to. And the coverage that time provided by number 33, Levi Armstrong of Harrison, West Lafayette.
Yeah, he was just maybe one step away from picking that thing off. That could have been really disastrous for the South team.
So the clock is stopped with 32.3 remaining in the first half. The Grange Insurance All-Star Classic. The North and the South going after each other. North with the blue jerseys. South all in white. 2nd down and 10. Matt King's going to scramble. And the pass incomplete.
Matt King's pass incomplete.
And a good defensive job that time, turned in by Greg Heben of Delta High.
Well, that was good pressure up front by the North and also good coverage. Well, I'll tell you, the defense for the North has really dictated this game.
Absolutely.
You want to break it down even farther, really the defense for the North Ball Club has made all the difference in this ball game so far, in my opinion.
Now you're at 27.2. You're 3rd down and 10. If you don't get something on this play, yeah, I was going to think maybe you take a knee on the next one and try to get out and let the clock run out on the thing. Well, I guess they're going to throw the football. I thought they might keep it on the ground just to kind of give up the ghost. King in trouble. Now reversing field. Now he's going to let it fly. There's nobody up there except blue shirts, and it is intercepted, I believe, by Brandon Elliott of Plymouth High.
Yeah, no harm, no foul here. This is nothing more really than a long punt.
Same as a punt, yeah.
So he had nothing to lose. Actually, good decision. And I'll tell you what I like about him. Boy, he gets himself out of trouble. And he's did that multiple times, a good arm strength there, and just tries to make a play here. And like we talked about, that's nothing more than a long punt. So no harm, no foul for the South Ball Club.
Pass intended for Dwight Wilson. Now let's see, 42-yard line, their own 42 with 15.1 to go.
You guys got enough?
I'm still waiting for a big
The young man we saw go out of the game a while ago, the injury report is he is fine.
Jerry, you're going to be calling his name someday. I feel it. He took a hit and just jumped right back up.
That's good.
Well, I think if you're the North here, I'm not sure you sit down here either. 15 seconds, take a couple looks at it.
Well, they've got Lancaster and Titus as their quarterbacks. We talked about both of those young men. Lancaster, 15th in the state in passing yards per game. Over 2,000 yards passing this year, so we'll see what kind of a situation the North All-Stars come up with under head coach Rich Dodson. Fun to talk to Rich last week. I said, what are you going to do? You going to miss this? He said, I told Scott Hoover, who's taken over, he said, I'm not coming to the games for a while. So he said, nothing personal. I'm just not going to come to the games for a while.
That's got to be so tough.
Yeah.
It's just such a big part of your life for so long.
They're going to take a knee and get out of here, and I don't blame them. Well, this first half has been a complete turnaround from what we thought was originally going to happen, because the South came out loaded for bear. They looked like that it could be 21-0 at halftime in favor of the South, but a couple of miscues on their part and some terrific defense employed by the North has made it a 17-7 football game. Cubs will head off the field now. The South coming directly into the stands beneath us. The North going off to the eastern sidelines.
Well, I think you have to give a lot of credit to the hitting. I know I just said this, but the North defense, I think, dictated down to the field.
South coach Larry McWhorter joining us. I know not the first half that you expected. Turnovers the big factor in tonight's game so far?
That's the old coach's cliche, and unfortunately that's bit us a little bit.
When you coach them up in an all-star game, how much coaching will you actually do in the next 20 minutes?
More than you might think. That's what they're paying us to do, so we'll give them our best shot.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Jerry?
Now I'm going to tell you, Greg, that was coach speak right there, buddy. I'm telling you what. We're going to take a break, come back, got a good halftime show coming up for you. At halftime, it's the North 17, the South 7 in the Grange Insurance All-Star Classic.
2009 Grange Insurance North-South Football All-Star Game. Our halftime show is being sponsored by JES & Sons. JES & Sons helping Indiana communicate since 1976, and by the Shelbourne Knee Center at Methodist Hospital. World-class care right in your backyard. It is time for our halftime show, and we're going to have many great guests joining us here at halftime, but we're going to keep going what we've done in the first half here on the sidelines, and that's be joined by some of the best coaches here in Central Indiana. Another one joins us now after some successful years at Tech High School. Now he's another IPS program helping to rebuild. He's at Manual High School. It's Cedric Lloyd that is joining us now, and Coach, you're an award winner tonight. Tell us about the honor you got here in the second quarter.
Well, it's a service award in honor of Mr. Ken Leffler. He was one of the founders of this particular game, and we're looking forward to continuing to serve the IFCA as well as state of Indiana.
Now, in addition, again, to your work with the IFC and the award, you've also got a player on the field tonight, and Dominique Corder. Tell us about him.
Quarterback came in. This is my first year coaching him. We came in, and he has been exactly the honor that he has tonight playing in this game. He's an outstanding individual, a young man that's quality on the field and off.
Now, I know in talking with you before the game, he's kind of made a late decision to go to Iowa Western and play junior college football. What are your expectations for him in the future?
I plan to see him at the Division I level in 2 years. He's a Division I player, but this route is not bad for him. He's going to get his head together, get his grades together, and go on and play Division I. Hopefully see him on Sundays.
You really got the tech program turned around a few years ago. Now at Manual, what is it about these IPS programs that's really appealing to you and the challenge that you seem to like to take?
But, you know, everybody needs a good coach, and I feel like I'm a good coach, so anywhere I can go and help kids, I'm going to do that.
What do you got, 2 weeks until practice officially gets started?
You can say that.
Officially. Coach, it's great to see you as always, and congratulations on the award.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's Manual High School head coach Cedric Lloyd, again, one of the many great coaches who has joined us here tonight at North Central High School. Well, a couple of days ago, myself as well as our hometown sports photographer, Alan Hughes, had a chance to watch these young men and coaches give back to the community. It's an annual tradition with the Grange Insurance North-South Football All-Star Game that these players spend some time at Camp Riley. Let's take a look.
For the last 15 or 20 years, this has been a tradition, the All-Star Football Game. They come out on Wednesday nights for Camp Riley, and we have a lot of fun with football players. Campers are eating right now. They'll come over about 7:30, and we'll have all kinds of fun and games. Camp ditties, which are camp songs, and then we'll go into having a little fun with these guys, dressing some of them up as girls, having a little beauty pageant. They don't know that's coming yet, but we'll break them up into cabin groups, and we'll see who the winner is. Camp Riley is through the Riley Children's Foundation in partnership with Indiana University here at Bradford Woods. It's been going on since 1955 for youth with physical disability, age 8 to 18. And we have a full medical staff, doctor and 4 to 5 nurses, and about 100 staff with medical training. And the campers don't really know all that. They just know it's camp. And we just give them a traditional camp experience, but there's a lot behind it that they don't see and they don't need to see. And it's just kids being kids.
Well, I was here last year as well. I had the opportunity to do this. And what you're going to see is a lot of interaction between kids who really have kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. You see kids who are extremely well, physically in the football players. Then you're going to see kids who are in desperate need of physical care. And having the opportunity for those kids to interact on basically a one-on-one basis is it's tremendous. I know we had a great time last year, and I'm anticipating seeing, a lot of great things happen tonight. You'll see, a lot of different things, kids dressing up and acting out different kinds of things, and they'll basically do what the campers ask them to do, and you'll see a lot of smiles and a lot of fun.
Well, they said a football player needs to go to the end of the line, so I guess I just took the lead.
What's the key to what you're doing right now?
One last time. This is the water relay.
Get as much water into this bottle as possible, as fast as you can.
Do you think the guys are actually going to play
Probably going to be a little wet.
All right, this is the after picture of what this looks like. How did you get drafted into that spot?
I have no idea. No one wanted to step up, so I just thought might as well take advantage and do it.
Did you plan on entering a wet t-shirt contest?
I did not. I brought my phone with me and everything. Didn't think I'd be doing this.
It's not that cold outside. Does it actually feel good?
It actually does, yeah. The water's not cold. It feels good, yeah.
Is this the most you've had to sweat during practice all week?
Yes, it is.
Are you having a good time?
I'm having a great time. Great time.
Well, we were just figuring up. It's been 16 years when I've been involved with this game. I've been involved with this game 24 years, and when we first got the Shriners took them to the hospital, then we always said we want to give it back to the community, and the idea was that we would come down to Bradford Woods. And so in 93, we came down here for the first time. And I was just talking about we used to have a connoisseur wagon down there when we used to have a rodeo during that Sunday afternoon, and each year it's getting better and better. The people of Bradford Woods have gotten used to us. We've gotten used to them. As you saw at the beginning here today, the ditties were so great in that area. And that might have been the best pageant show I've just seen in my life here, and they've done that for a few years here, and that might be the best pageant. Like I said, these kids do a great job. And what we try to do is bring these guys who are all state players an idea that, hey, there's other people in your community that looks into you. And I said, like when I told these guys in the report on Sunday, I said, there's going to be somebody from your school that knows who you are. You don't know who they are. And we've already found a few of those players that found out who have came involved with them. Hey, I remember you and so forth. And it's been neat to see some of the players who come from the city of Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, getting involved with these athlete students here at Riley who are just like him. There's no difference with them, and they enjoy it. And we're getting ready to finish up here with the idea of passing out the T-shirts to the kids. And I guess that's a big deal to kids. They get their T-shirts or a football or a hat from these, and they'll wear them all the rest of the week when they're here at camp. And it's always been great. And one of my first year here, we left 6 players here my first year. And so we always make sure, hey, count every player, make sure they're back on the bus. And it was a great deal because these kids will walk them back to their campers tonight and just say goodbye and wish them the best of luck. And so it's a great opportunity.
What's the bus ride back like for these kids after doing this community service?
Well, I always talk to the coaches. They always talk about it. The kids that say, did you see that young man the young man who was the water with the jacket and everything? There's always one or two kids, the campers, they always talk about. And they're very quiet sometimes. And some of these kids get very emotional about it. And they like, you know what, we're very lucky to do what we have and so forth.
Is this your favorite part of the week?
Oh, this is a great week. And the Hall of Fame's a great trip. And finish up with the banquet tomorrow night. And the game means nothing. It's the friendship these guys will develop here this week. It's like I told them when they came in on Sunday. There's going to be somebody that's going to be drafted out of this class. Who it is, I don't know. There's going to be more than one. Like we told them when the Tampa Bay and Oakland Raiders played in the Super Bowl. 4 kids in that game played in this All-Star game. For the Raiders, they had Rick Meyer and Rod Woodson from Fort Wayne. And from the South, they had Justin Smith from Warren Central and Ken Dilger from Heritage Shield. So it's always so great to see these guys do well and see who might be the first pick or who's a Ray Bolt Award winner. And they come back and they give back to the community after this. And these young men, as Nate Andrews, who's the coach here, played in this game. So it's always a great opportunity to see these guys come back and say, hey, I remember this.
Welcome back here at halftime, the Grange Insurance North-South Football All-Star Game here at North Central High School. Very happy to be joined by Carol Drake, the Vice President of Grange Insurance. And Carol, congratulations on another successful All-Star game.
Thank you. It is truly a pleasure to be the sponsor of the Grange Insurance All-Star Classic. It's the 4th consecutive year, and I'll tell you, this year, better than ever. Football weather, who could have asked for anything better than that? But, you know, it's kind of an important thing for Grange. Our independent agents all over the states, they're involved with their high schools, each and every week when that comes up this fall. So coming and supporting a game like this, natural fit for us, a natural fit for our independent agents. And, we think it's important for companies to, be involved in the communities that they live and work in. So this, again, I just can't say enough about this terrific event and what a great football game we have going here.
Well, in addition to the great football that we've got tonight and then the great young men on both sides of it, had a chance to watch these young guys give back to the community with their involvement with Camp Rally on Wednesday. Tell us your thoughts about that.
Well, and it's all about, growing, and these kind of events, getting all these folks together for a week of learning, teamwork. These are the kinds of life experiences that they'll take with them for years to come, and understanding how important giving back and philanthropy is. I think, again, these are the kind of values you want to instill in young people today. Camp Rally, there's no other organization any better that I can think of. They're just a terrific group, and I know it really meant a lot to those kids to have them out there this week.
And as you look around the complex here at North Central, one of the things immediately jumps out to me is that you guys have made this much more than a football game. You guys have made this an event.
We have, and I'll tell you, we have been in partnership with the Indianapolis Colts, and so we thought it'd be a great idea to invite the Colts into this event as well. So they have also been terrific sponsors with us for the last 4 years. And, with the Make It Personal tour and all the things that they bring to the table, it really makes it a total event for everybody to come and enjoy.
Now, again,
it's a destination.
You're sponsoring and underwriting really both these rosters, but as you look around the stadium and in the end zone, you see some signs where agents can sponsor individual players. Tell us about this.
Well, again, it's getting back to communities, and our agents are tied to their local schools. So when they have a player in their local area and it's their high school student, they do take ownership. They come to the banquet and really take ownership, be involved, and that's what makes it a great game.
All right, Carol, before we let you go, tell our viewers as far as where they can find out more about Grange Insurance online.
Oh, absolutely. Log on to grangeinsurance.com. We have a whole host of wonderful products, and find a Grange independent agent near you. We'd really appreciate it.
Well, I know, Carol, again, tonight marks the final night of thinking about the 2009 game, and it's probably next week the thoughts of the 2010 game begin again. Thanks for, again, the time, and congratulations on a great event.
Oh, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Again, Carol Drake, VP at Grange Insurance, joining us here at the half of the 2009 Grange Insurance North-South Indiana Football Coach Association All-Star Game. Back with more at North Central in a moment here on Hometown Sports. Morgan, congratulations on what was a fantastic both football and basketball career at Carmel. This is your last event as a high school athlete. It's off to Kentucky, as the Wildcat Pride shirt would indicate. What's it like knowing you're wrapping up your athletic career tonight?
It's pretty good. It feels pretty good to be out here and being around people that you normally aren't necessarily around. It's awesome being out here with all the guys and all the All-Stars from around this state, and also being able to give back and spend time with some people that might be a little less fortunate.
Tell us about what this experience has been like throughout the course of the week, because, again, you spent a lot of time in Lexington over the last few weeks, and now a little bit back closer to home. What's it like to be back around guys that were rivals years in high school?
It's awesome to be back around guys from the state. Being able to talk about things from home and people actually understand what you're talking about feels pretty good, and just being back here to play football is also a great feeling. So loving it in Indiana. It's different from Lexington, but it's nice to get back.
Tell us a little about Lexington, though, and about why you felt Kentucky was the right place for you to continue your football career.
Lexington is nice. It's a place where you got a lot of different kind of people, and it's south compared to Indiana, but it's also still north compared, I guess, to all the other southern states. But you got a wide range of people. A lot of great football players down in Kentucky. So, part of the reason I chose to go there is just because of the coaching staff and the ability to play in the SEC. And it's a little less south, so I'm not a big fan of the cold. But Lexington was nice, and we thought it was the best place for me to go.
I know you were looking forward to playing for Rich Brooks, but also the fact that Joker Phillips has already been named the head coach once Rich decides to retire. Joker's going to be kind of coaching you a lot from an offensive standpoint. Tell us about that relationship.
It's a good relationship. This summer, we all anticipate Coach Brooks being around and going, but it's nice to have both guys on campus. So Joker's the man. He knows a lot. He's been around. He's played in the NFL. He's played at Kentucky. So he's a great guy to have, as a coach on the offensive staff.
And again, the football season for you at Carmel ended in November. The basketball season carried well on into March. Your last chance to be a basketball player. What was that like for you this past season?
That was awesome. I've played basketball my whole life, and I've had a great time playing ball. It was kind of bittersweet playing that sectional final because we lost, but at the same time it was closing I would say a basketball career of mine that I had dreams that didn't necessarily go through, but I nevertheless had a great time, and it was fun to be able to play my last year.
Have you gotten over the state finals football loss yet?
No, I'll never get over that. That was a tough loss for us. We played a great game. Elias is out here, and he wears his T-shirt around, and it's tough to swallow. But at the same time, we had a great season, and it was awesome playing those 3 years at Carmel that I did.
Again, you do have a state championship in the bag from that junior season to rely on as well. Again, Morgan, congratulations. Thanks for all the great memories over the years, and best of luck in Kentucky.
Appreciate it.
Of North Central High School again. Our score is 17-7. The North surprisingly in front of the South here at the 2009 Grange Insurance Indiana North-South Football Classic. We'll give you some halftime stats here in just a matter of moments. Jerry Baker, of course, will return for the second half of play-by-play alongside Jan Boser. And Jan, again, as we look at these stats here at halftime, really the stat that is certainly the most important, the giveaway-takeaway ratio, because seemingly every turnover tonight for both sides has led to a score.
Yeah, and the South has really hurt themselves by their turnovers, no question about it. Really the stat of the game.
3 interceptions thrown so far by South quarterbacks today, and of course there was a key fumble that led to the South's only touchdown as well. And again, we thought that this game might be a little lopsided. Honestly, in favor of the South, and Jan, it's been anything but so far.
It has, and the thing that you just don't know is the big hits. You don't know who's going to come out and do things like that, and the North defense clearly with some great hit has helped their cause.
Some of the key stats from a passing standpoint, Matt King,
3 completions, 8 attempts, 2 interceptions, has thrown the lone touchdown. Morgan Newton, just 2 of 7 tonight, has also thrown an interception. Rushing stats for the South All-Stars, Eric Williams leads the way with 4 carries for 15 yards. For the North All-Stars, Skylar Titus was 4 for 8 for 36 yards and a touchdown. Matt Lancaster, 3 for 6 for 45 yards. Rushing, Skylar Titus leading the North All-Stars in that category as well. And this is kind of Trudy was for Rich Dotson at Northwood, a run and throw threat of a quarterback. He had 4 carries for 28 yards, including a long of 18.
You know, I think the 2 quarterbacks that maybe we wouldn't thought would be on the highlight reel took over in Matt King and Skylar Titus. I thought really played well in the first half.
So again, our score at the half, 17-7. The North All-Stars in front of the South All-Stars. We'll take a quick timeout. Well, I tell you what, let's show us some of our replays, some of our highlights from the first half. In fact, this is our big play of the first half so far, and it's one of the many interceptions we have talked about, Jan. Again, this interception was brought back all the way to the 2-yard line.
Well, Morgan Newton really locked in on one receiver, and it was just well played defensively. Timed it perfectly for the North Ball Club.
Again, that was Keith Dockery from Maryville that made the play. That was our JES first half play of the game. JES and Sons helping Indiana to communicate since 1976. Let's now sneak in our next timeout. The legendary J.R. Baker returns in just a moment. Again, you are watching the 2009 Grange Insurance North-South Football All-Star Game on Hometown Sports.
Welcome back to North Central High School. Our thanks to Greg Rakestraw for taking care of the halftime activities here. Grabbed a slab of pizza and
yes, you did.
Off we go. Well, the first half was a bit of a surprise, 17-7. I heard you and Greg talking about that. The situation was we figured that the South had more offensive power, and indeed that might be where everything went. And initially, Janet looked that way through the first half of the first quarter. Then, just talking to Dick Dullahan, who coached the All-Stars a number of years and won a number of state championships at Ben Davis. And I said, what do you think, Coach? He said, well, the turnovers are the key to the game right now.
No question about it, as they are in every ball game. But, you know, I talked during the first half about turnovers in the forced category versus the unforced category. And the ones that impressed me are because I have been very impressed by this North defense. They've made good hits all night long. A couple of them have turned into turnovers, and that has really dictated the score, Jerry, in 17-7 because of the way this defense has got their offense in great field position.
Well, as you witness in every sport, whether it's baseball or basketball or football, whatever the case may be, it's turnovers just change everything. And when Greg talked with Larry McWhorter at the end of the first half, he acknowledged that and then didn't have a whole lot more to say about it, but I can guarantee you that's one of the things they talked about.
Well, no question about it. And I thought you made a good point while we was going into halftime. Is this alternating quarterbacks every other series throwing Morgan Newton off? Because he has really struggled to get in any type of rhythm so far.
I asked Dick about that. He said, that's just kind of the way. They either decide to go quarter by quarter, first quarter, second quarter, then we'll decide third quarter, or we go series by series. He says, even back when he was coaching the All-Stars, he says, that's kind of the way you do it to make sure everybody gets equal playing time. But I still maintain that if you're a guy like Morgan Newton, or for that matter, anybody, of those guys that we're talking about, I'm not picking on Morgan, you're used to going in for your team and playing. You're playing, 30 minutes a game.
Yeah, and being Mr. Football, the expectation from announcers, the crowd, everybody else, you're just supposed to put on an unbelievable performance every time you put on those sneakers and jersey. And you know what? We still have a whole half to play. Mr. Newton could really put on a show yet.
Absolutely. Just watching the warm-up out there right now. Matt King throwing some passes. Morgan Newton likewise. And the South will get the football. There's a good look at Morgan Newton on your screen right there. We talked about him being the Mr. Football this year. His rushing, he rushed for 111.5 yards a game and passed for 128.3 per game. He had a total of about 48 touchdowns between rushing and passing this year. So he's so explosive, Jan, that if he gets it going here, who knows what might happen. Now, Matt King, on the other hand, 5th in the state in passing. Take a look at this throw by King.
Oh, this is on the run with a defensive pressure hanging on to him, and Jerry just puts it right in the hands. Well, I thought Matt King played very well in the first half.
That was Dwight Wilson that caught the ball. I thought he might be more of a factor. Now, there's the touchdown pass by the North squad likewise. the first time North had the football, they turned it over on downs, then they fumbled it away, and then, Jan, they had to punt it away. And at that time, you and I are both kind of thinking, okay, this thing could get out of hand in a hurry. Well, it did, but it went the other way because the next time the North got the football, they had that 19-yard touchdown pass to Titus. Made it a 7-7 game. It was 10:09 to go in the second quarter, and then all of a sudden, the turnovers, and I go back to that great defensive hit that we've shown 2 or 3 times. That really kind of turned the whole game around.
No question about it, and here it is. Just a very good, clean, head-up hit, and got that ball loose, and that started it all off. Jerry, so far in this first half, we've really not had any breaking runs. Both defensive has really contained the running games.
Absolutely. And there are good runners out there. I refer to Eric Williams and Nick Turner. Zane Fakes, an outstanding runner. Those are the South guys. George Ezell has been one of the keys. They have given the ball to Carlton Austin quite a bit, but they're running him out of a fullback spot, so his chances of breaking free are not all that good, but they seem to, they meaning the South, they seem to have focused on the middle, and neither club is letting the other one do anything with the ground game right now.
I thought coming into tonight's ball game, speed, and it still has played a very important part, but I thought you'd see runners get to the outside corner with the speed, and really so far, except for a couple times, that just hadn't happened.
Thank you.
Just looking down, the South will get the football again, get the football to begin the second half, as they won the opening toss and deferred to the second half.
Well, you look down the time of possession, the first half, really not much difference. The South had it just a couple more minutes than the North, so really both teams had the ball about the same amount of time.
It didn't seem that way, though, did it?
No, it really didn't. I was a little surprised when I looked down at that. 12:58 to 11:02.
All right, the South in the white uniforms, they have 3 players deep now. The second half kickoff is underway. It'll head deep and taken right at the goal line, but with 1 foot in the end zone. So Dwight Wilson gets no chance to return the football. So South will start the second half on their own 20-yard line. How important, Jan, do you think this first possession for the South might be? We always talk about the first possession of the second half.
Well, I think it's big, and I think the other thing we're going to see, I think we'll see Morgan Newton tuck it up and run some more. I think he's going to get himself more involved in this offense as much as he can, as long as he's in there quarterback.
Well, I pointed out he rushed for over 1,673 yards this year, so he can do the job on the ground. Sets up in the shotgun position, fakes the inside handoff, keeps the football, comes to the outside and gets caught from behind. Beautiful defensive play that time by the North's number 21, Nick Driscoll, out of Southwood High.
Well, Morgan Newton did exactly what I thought he might. Tried to tuck it up and run, but you can't do that when North players are hanging all over you.
I'm not sure anybody laid a hand on Driscoll that time. He had pretty much of a free shot on Newton. A loss of 4, 2nd and 14. Newton setting up once again in the shotgun. A couple of protectors on either side. Inside handoff now to Eric Williams. Williams turns the corner on the right side, gets across the 25 to about the 26 or 27 yard line. And that's one of the better runs, as we were talking about, Jan. Not much yardage being gained on the ground. They'll move this out to the 26, gain of half a dozen.
I talked about speed, and certainly Williams has speed, but what you get when you bring all this talent is you have equal speed on defense. So they try to match him outside, and the North does a great job, Jerry, of stretching that thing out and not allowing that corner. Because, boy, once you get runners like that to get the corner, look out.
Glad to have you along tonight on Hometown Television. 10:44 to go now in the third quarter of this game. A 10-point lead for the team in the blue jerseys, the North squad. Newton couldn't find a receiver, tucks it in. He gets caught right at the line of scrimmage. Penalty marker down to the far side of the field. He is out across the 30 to the 31, which would be good enough for the first down, but let's check the penalty.
Well,
Okay, got a hold.
I think we got South in the hold, and there you just heard it.
Blue captain.
Right there it is, I think. Back.
5-2. 5-2.
Yep, 5-2 is exactly who I thought it would be.
Yep.
52, just a little too much extension in those arms, Jerry. You know, the whole key used to be in an ex-offensive lineman. The key is don't get caught. And holding right in front of an umpire is not good timing.
Not smart. It was Gus Bell out of Evansville Memorial. They called the penalty on that time. They're going to mark it back now inside the 15. So it'll be a third down and somewhere in the neighborhood of 16 yards.
Jerry, I used to play for Jim Belton in high school. Of course, Jim Belton, Hall of Fame coach. And back then, they used to have the old projectors, and they used to play that backwards and forwards. You held 200 times because you had to run every time you held.
Jim was a terrific coach, championship coach. Here's the flip back to Eric Williams on the halfback option. It looked like he had a chance to throw the football. Instead, just kind of lowers his head and picks up 17 yards. Great run by Eric Williams.
Yeah, and Jerry, the South needed a big play, and this is really a nice misdirection play to get something going here. It looked like he may want to throw the ball there.
Thought, yeah, initially.
But then he tucks it up and go.
Over 1,700 yards rushing this year for Eric Williams, number 12 for the South All-Stars out of Warren Central. Boy, that Warrior program's been strong for years and years and years.
The South finally with some decent field position. The North has did a great job of keeping them deep in their own territory.
Inside 10 minutes now here in the third quarter. South with the football. They trail 17-7. Williams tries the other side, and they shut that down beautifully. Nice defensive stop by Keith Dockery out of Merrillville High School. We've called his name a half a dozen times tonight.
Exactly what I started to say. Keith Dockery has shown outstanding speed.
Phil Fretz also there for the Blue Squad.
So no gain on the plays. Ball spotted down at the 33. Second down and 10. 9:20 to play in this third quarter. The Grange Insurance All-Star Classic. Jerry Baker and Jan Boser. Greg Rakestraw on the sideline. Happy to have you along for our telecast tonight. Well, it's just been an absolutely perfect night for football in the middle of July.
Couldn't ask for a better night.
No. Had a shot of the skies a while ago, that cloud cover, and that's been good. Morgan Newton on the throw, had a receiver in the area, Morgan Cook, and overthrew him on the far side. So the clock will stop at 8:55. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Morgan on the run tries to hit the receiver and overthrows him again. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down, Jerry, for the South Ball Club. So they're going to probably have to pass again.
Yep.
You know, as a defensive lineman, this is the greatest thing in the world. 3rd and 10. Because you don't have to respect the run. So you change your stance, you get your feet up a little more, and you just go after the QB. As an ex-defensive lineman, this is my favorite down, 3rd and 10.
Well, let's see what Larry McWhorter has come up with here now. We'll take Morgan Newton out of that shotgun again. 4 down linemen for the North All-Stars. And again, pretty much the same defensive alignment they've gone with throughout the football game. Newton back, firing over the middle. Got the pass complete. Caught this time by Tyrone Walker. Walker's got running room. He's got the first down and tons more. Being chased down from behind and finally shoved out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Beautiful throw by Morgan Newton. Great catch that time by Tyrone Walker.
Jerry, that's exactly what Morgan Newton needed, was just a nice throw to get himself going. Puts this one right where he needed to, right in the hands. Then a nice run after the catch. A missed tackle there. And the South really threatening for the first time in a long time.
Brad Silver taking our stats for us tonight. 47 yards on that pass reception. Finally run out of bounds at the far sideline, as you just saw, by Dylan Painter out of Fort Wayne Snyder. And you're right, that may just ignite this ball club. Wide receiver set out to the right side. Here's the give now to the tailback. Up the middle, little running room that time, but not much more for Eric Williams. He'll move it inside the 20, bound to around the 18 or 19-yard line. Tackled that time by 21 Nick Driscoll out of Southwood High. In fact, they're going to spot it, let's see here, a gain of about 3, 2nd down 7.
Yeah, it was a good tackle that time, but that interior defensive line, and there have been multiple ones, as much as we've mentioned the quarterbacks have been changing, they've been changing personnel on those front lines, both offensively and defensively as well.
Well, we touched on that, Jan, at the outset of the telecast, that everybody's going to play, and that's the way it should be in an all-star game. Here's Newton rolling out. He's got Williams back there with him, but he's going to keep the ball and run it himself. He'll move inside the 15, down to around the 10, and run himself out of bounds. And I think, Jan, this is kind of what you were talking about earlier, that Newton might take over and try to do it afoot.
Well, this is where he's at his best. You get him scrambling and look out, because if defensively, and we talked about this in the keys, you have to contain a Morgan Newton. You let him get outside that containment, and that's where he'll just absolutely tear you apart.
12 yards on that play. They'll spot the ball at the 10. With the ball being there, it'll be first down and goal now with 7:38 remaining in this third quarter. Big drive by the Southern All-Stars. It started back on their own 20-yard line. Inside handoff, Williams. Williams busting inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. Gain of 7. And now the South is doing, Jan, pretty much what we saw them do at the outset of the game.
Yeah, now there really has some rhythm going. There's a little delay from the shotgun straight up the middle, and Williams, Williams has got good speed and power as well, Jerry. He's an impressive runner.
They've taken Morgan Cook out of the lineup. They'll probably go with a tight end situation now with Morgan Newton squeezing the ball down inside the 5-yard line. They'll have one wide out set to the left side, to the bottom side of your screen. A good close-up look at Morgan Newton. Newton hands off up the middle and nowhere to go. Great.
Oh, they say
they did
across.
Get in. I thought they had him short of the goal line, but apparently not, and that is Eric Williams.
Jerry, he took his hand and stretched that thing out. All you have to do is get that football across the plane, and it did. It looked like he was stopped. Take a look from the end zone. Here he goes. Now watch him here at the last. Stretch it out. Does he get it over? That's a touchdown. Wow, that's a highlight, Phil.
That is super. Well, I thought sure that they had him, and they did, body-wise, except for the football. That's a terrific play by Eric Williams. 3-yard touchdown run by Williams. Now the point after. The kick is up by Justin Moore, and it is no good. He missed the point after. 6:56 to go, 17-13. The North with a 4-point lead here on the Hometown Sports Television. 10 plays covering 80 yards, 5 minutes, 4 seconds time of possession, 2 passes and 8 runs in that series. Let's go down to the sideline now. Greg Rakestraw.
Thank you very much, Jerry. We've got a special guest. Again, a lot of folks know this guy is the head football coach at Avon, and Dave Shelbourne. But Dave, you were just telling me you got to play in the first one of these games.
I hate to date myself, but I played in the 1967 game, and it was a terrific experience. Still have a lot of good friends from the game.
And again, you coached in this game, you say 3 times?
I was an assistant up north. I was a head coach when I was a head coach at Highland, and I coached here in a game a couple of years ago. I was a head coach for the South.
And of course, like any good coach, you usually have a lot of players in this game. You've got one this year in Tyler Boyd. Tell us about his career at Avon.
Tyler Boyd was an outstanding player for us. He's a 3-year starter, 2-time All-Stater. He'll be heading to Indiana State next year on scholarship, and I'm looking for him to have a great career over there.
Dave, what are your expectations for the Orioles this season?
Well, we feel good. We lost some good players, but we have 13 returning starters. We like our kids. They've got a great work ethic, and we're looking for a good season.
Dave, always great to see you. Best of luck in 2009.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being out here.
You got it. Jerry, back to you.
Thank you, Greg. Javonte Hintz on the kickoff return from 16 yards out to the 35-yard line. The North goes to work right there. First down and 10. Lancaster at quarterback is in trouble and brought down from behind with a terrific defensive stop that time.
Well, that's a busted play, Jerry. Lancaster tried to hand off, and boy, Zach Bruce from Ben Davis just came barreling through off the busted play, and a big loss. You can see a little spark now, Jerry, how this South Ball Club coming over from the offense to the defense.
Absolutely. There's another look at it again. You saw 92 come busting in there. 96 was Philip Shoemaker out of Evansville Central. He was also a participant in that play. A loss of 9, second down and 19. Now, again, Jan, the defense on both sides, major players in this contest. Out of the shotgun again. Here comes Lancaster. He's got some time to throw, and there's nobody anywhere near. They had a receiver in the area that time, Carlton Austin, but Austin either missed the play assignment or simply couldn't get out there because there was not a receiver within about 10 yards of the football.
You know, people wonder how serious do these coaches take this ball game. I'm sitting down there watching the South assistant coaches, and boy, they're down there coaching. They're into this thing. You know, this is a good ball game at 17-13.
Well, you know, you can look at it if you want to as an all-star exhibition, basically that's what it is Larry McWhorter's out patrolling the sidelines. But coaches want to win.
Oh, sure they do.
And so do the players, for crying out loud.
Well, and look at all the coaches that Greg's talked to, and we see them everywhere. You know, there is a lot of pride. You're playing for a lot of things here tonight, not just yourself.
You're representing your school. You're representing your team right now. Here's Lancaster back to throw again. Lancaster's got a receiver and just barely overthrew him. He had a receiver out there in number 89. That's Austin Coleman out of the wide receiver spot in that side of the field, and he just barely put it over his fingertips.
Boy, Coleman had his man beat too, Jerry. Look at this. Game of inches.
Oh,
my goodness.
man.
Just over his fingertips. Led him just perfectly, just overthrew him by a couple inches.
So a punting situation on 4th down and 19 at 5:53 to go in the third quarter of play. Brandon Williams out of Northwood standing on his own 12-yard line. Williams can nail it. Well, he kicked a beauty a while ago. This one's not quite as tight as Spiral. It hits on the 21-yard line. Takes a bit of a North all-star bounce and will drop dead on about the 26-yard line.
You know, Jerry, the North offense stuttered a little bit that time, and the South defense really picked it up. Now, all of a sudden, after that touchdown by the South, they've got the ball right back, and they've got everything going their way.
39 yards on the punt, no return. 5:42 to go now here in this third quarter. 17-13. The South scoring but missing the point after, and now they will begin play on their own 26-yard line. This is their second possession of the football game. With 6:56 to go, Williams took it in from 3 yards out to make it 17-13. They missed the PAT, and that's where we stand right now. Keeping the football, running out of the backfield, that's Matt King. King faked the handoff and maybe wishes he had given it up to the running back there.
Yeah, good defensive effort again by the North Ball Club. Here you look from the shotgun. Boy, you know, Matt King's very versatile.
1 yard gain.
He tries to keep it himself.
He averaged 81.8 yards per game rushing this year, almost 1,000 yards rushing. So King is a pretty good runner, but that time they had him shut down.
He reminds me a lot of Zachary from Sheridan, the way that he can run, pass, the same type of ball club.
Are there any more Zacharys left over there?
Actually, there are.
I think
there is another one. I believe it'll be a sophomore this year, a freshman or sophomore.
Here's King. Now he's going to have to run with the football. Fakes the throw, got caught from behind. Nice defensive stop that time by Adam Chalfant of Winchester High.
You know, speaking of Zachary, I seen Bud Wright walk by just a few minutes ago. You think Sheridan will be good again?
Oh,
is Sheridan ever not good?
You look in the dictionary under head coach, and there's a picture of Bud Wright in there. He is.
What did he do? 3 state titles and 1 runner-up in a row.
Just remarkable what they do with that program with a small school like that. You know? I guess if you go live in Sheridan, I think it's a law you have to play football.
And you talk about nice guys, you will not meet a nicer guy than Bud Wright.
Absolutely.
You could talk to him forever.
A lot of stuff you can't understand, but I love the guy dearly. He is beauty. 4:10 to go now, third quarter, 17-13 game. The South is behind, but they've got the football, and they've got problems right now. King slips and falls down. What's happening now, and you made reference to this earlier on, Chan, that's a defensive secondary. It's not a sack, but what happens? There's nobody to throw football to.
Well, look at number 97, David House here from Concord. You see him on the far. He does a great job of closing. Right there, you see him in his picture. He doesn't get credit for anything here, but he stopped the whole play.
Well, Chalfant is the guy that'll get credit with the tackle. He caught his right arm just barely caught the leg of King on that play and actually knocked him down. So it's a 4th down situation, and they're going to have to punt it away again.
David House, 6'4", going to Manchester.
Josh Owen will be punting for the South, 18th in the state in rushing yards per game this year, so he played offensively and as a punting star. Did the North touch the football?
Yeah, I believe they did. I think they got it back.
Wow, what a mistake that would have been. Pretty nice punt here by Josh Owen. Let's take a look and see if we can see what happens here. Oh, yeah. He just flat dropped it.
He definitely had it in the breadbasket. Just, wow. That could have been ugly for the North.
It was Javante Hintz. So the North does hang on to the football here after the punt. Second possession of the game in that third quarter. 42 yards on the punt and 3 yards on the return. So North gets it now. This is their second possession here in the second half. They had to punt it away the first time. Here's the handoff to Lees. over the middle, and up to around the 45-yard line. This series beginning back on the 38-yard line, so they've had pretty good field position in the second half. 35-yard line on their first possession, 38 this time around.
Jerry, that's a perfect run for the North Ball Club. You go 7 yards on first down. Now your second down play selection is wide open. Skylar Titus now the quarterback, Jerry, for the North Ball Club.
Keep the ball on the ground, and that'll be close to the first down. Carlton Austin, he's been the workhorse of this ball club.
That's why that first down play was so big.
Portions of today's Grange Insurance All-Star Game are brought to you by the Shelbourne Knee Center at Methodist Hospital. World-class care right in your backyard. There's your score at the top of the screen. The Grange Insurance scoreboard, 17-13. Clock showing 2:31 to go in this third quarter. We're going to bring the chain gang in from the far sideline. It's really close to first down territory.
I think he's got it, Jerry.
Well, that's about as close as you can get. It is good enough for the first down, I think. They have still not made a signal.
He's going to rethink it. He had the arm cocked ready.
He did, didn't he? That's the reason I almost called it ahead of time.
Come on, bail me out.
I don't think they're going to give it to him.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. That's as close as you can be to a first down without it being a first down.
That's Robert Bryant, the referee. He and Anthony DeHaven and Andy Hurst, Jason Kessler, and Bill Widener working this all-star football game here tonight. So what do you want to say, Jan? Third down and an eighth of an inch?
Yeah,
they're close enough? Make it second down. Now they got the first down. Titus will just hang on to the football and pick up the first down. North would like now very much just to grind out the final 2:22 of this third quarter.
Yeah, and that seems to be their plan here, going to the ground. And if you can continue those first and sevens, they'll do that.
You know, they always talk about the importance of the third down, but I agree with you. I've always felt that first down can set up the entire four-down series and just changes everything for you. Under center, Titus staying in at the quarterbacking spot, hangs on to the football, rolls over left tackle, got the first down inside the 40, 38-yard line. Nice run that time for about 12 yards.
This is Titus doing a great job of just following and reading his blocks on the option here. Here you see a nice look at it. Now watch him read. Cuts back inside. Avoids a couple tackles there, and now another good run for another first down. That's huge for the North. They keep it rolling.
And the clock inside 2 minutes now here in this third quarter. Well, a score here would be really, really big. Titus is going to throw one to the end zone. Oh, knocked down. That was a dangerous throw. They had two defensive players in the area for the South All-Stars. That looked to be Ernie Morris, the cornerback from Bloomington South, who was in the area down there.
Well, he was well covered on the Ponderosa replay. Take a look. He might have got a little bit lucky here because this one had the chance of being picked off.
Let me correct myself. It was Josh Collier out of Edgewood, 6, not number 8. Had a good play. There's a close-up look at George Cheeseborough. They list him as a cornerback on the South All-Stars. Indeed, he is, but he's also an outstanding offensive player likewise. Austin on the carry. He'll get about 6 or 7, maybe 8 yards on that play.
You know, Cheeseborough had an article in the paper today, and I was reading that, you know, he was just happy to be picked. He wasn't sure whether he was or he wasn't, and they said, well, you're probably going to play defense. He said, I'm just happy to be picked. I'll play wherever you put me.
Isn't that a cool attitude?
Yeah,
though?
It really is.
Cheeseborough's going to Northeast Oklahoma A&M. 6 plays on this drive, 5 running, 1 passing. They've had picked up 30 yards on the ground. Again to the air. They got the first down this time. They got the touch. They got the first down with, I think that's Pyatt, Kevin Pyatt. Yeah, 85, Kevin Pyatt on the reception.
Jerry, I really like this play. The receiver knew exactly where to go to get the first down and really was the only person that could catch this ball. This was actually a very well-played football. play and in a pass play by Titus. Put it right on the money on the Ponderosa Steakhouse replay.
Pyatt heading toward Valparaiso University. It'll be 3rd down and 4. It's a pretty big 3rd down situation right now with exactly a minute to play here in this 3rd quarter. Not sure what the stoppage at action's all about. Officials having a chat with the South players.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to move the chains. I go, well, did he drop it? Oh, we've got a penalty. Didn't see it. And then it's going to go. Well, they're going to tack it on, Jerry. This is against the South.
We're going half the distance.
Half the distance. That's a. Well, that penalty had to happen at the end of the play.
It was, and if it's half the distance, there has to be some type of a personal foul or something. Let's see if we hear exactly what happened.
Well, they're still marking this thing off. They're marking it down to around the 12-yard line, 12 or 13 yard line.
I didn't.
Personal foul.
The penalty was assessed.
Yeah, it's exactly what it's a dead ball foul, personal foul, and that's why it's such a huge penalty.
Well, that does change things in a hurry. They're officially spotted down at the 13-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10. Josh Rubin checking in now for the North All-Stars. Austin Coleman also in the lineup for the North as receivers. They'll set Rubin wide to the left side and rush Austin Coleman out really wide to the right side. And now a timeout's going to be taken for the North. They simply were not organized after getting that penalty and getting it down into scoring position. And the coach says, wait a minute, let's make sure we get this play right, because this could be the key play of the game coming up here.
You know, Jerry, there's never a great time for turnovers or penalties. Boy, the South tonight has picked the most inopportune times for both some of their turnovers and these penalties. Because this has put the North right in scoring position here.
And if you look back at North's scoring tonight, their 17 points, they've all come off of this kind of an opportunity.
Yeah, no question about it. And if the North cashes in here, it will really put a hurt to the South.
It'll be interesting to see. Let's kind of jumping ahead here. Okay, Morgan Newton was the guy that drove him down last time, the South. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to keep the rotation up and put King in, or do you go with Newton again?
Well, King certainly has shown that he can do whatever
you
need. I suspect they'll probably just keep rotating.
So far, 7 plays on this drive, 49 yards. They've had 6 runs, 1 incomplete pass, and 1 big penalty, the one we just saw for 15 yards, and that's been the major issue here.
Now, you said you talked to Dick Dullahan about how they rotate these quarterbacks. They kind of do it some years different, or do they select? Or
it's strictly up to the coach.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, Dick said, you know, I may say to the guy, okay, you get the first quarter, you've got the second quarter, and at halftime I'll decide who goes from there. Or they can go by series of plays if they so desire. Here's a handoff to the running back. And that's David Lease, who will carry the ball on 1st down and 10 and get some space in there. We've not called Lease's name a whole lot. He's out of Southern Wells High School, a 5'10", 175 pounds.
2nd and 3.
Nice lead block by the fullback for the North Ball Club, Carlton Alston from LaPorte. It was a beautiful block.
That offensive line for the North done a nice job tonight, Jen.
Yeah, no question about it.
2nd down and 2. Pickup of 8 on that last play. Down to 20 seconds to go now here in the quarter. Keep the ball on the ground and snap down right at the line of scrimmage. And that's probably going to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. The tackle that time by Tyler Boyd and Jordan Ridley. And that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. So we've gone through 3 quarters in the Grange Insurance All-Star North-South High School Football Classic here at North Central High School. The score, the North 17, the South 13, here on Hometown Sports. Last night at their banquet, the Ralph Everman Award for the South squad was given to Jordan Ridley of Lawrence Central, and the North side winner was Skyler Titus out of Northwood High School. Our congrats to those young men.
Well deserved, that's for sure.
Distinguished Service Award being presented out on the field. And a lot of awards. That, of course, is Paul Logan, the assistant AD here at North Central.
I want to thank North Central for all their hospitality to put on a great show here.
They got a lot of construction going on.
Yeah,
They're
they really
doing a lot
do.
They're reworking the locker rooms for the guys. They've got a brand new multi-million-dollar natatorium that has gone up here. It's one of the largest schools in the state of Indiana. So, all right, now, Jed, 3rd down, 2. Big play of the game. Again. It's time for the North. We start the 4th quarter. They'll get the ball on the ground again and going to be shy, perhaps, at the 1st down. We'll look for the spot. And the stop that time by Chris Jones of Brownsburg.
Yeah, Chris Jones does a really nice job on this tackle because he stayed low, got through the line, and really kept the forward progress of the North. Not much gain at all, Jerry. Now it's really decision time.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, you have an option with the kicking game that's pretty darn good. Jake Lazar out of Western, and I think that's what they're going to do. In fact, I see Jake coming in right now. Lazar, his main forte was as a punter this year for Western, averaged almost 36 yards putting per game. But he will apparently place it down on the 11-yard line, which makes it a 21-yard field goal.
Yeah, this should be a chip shot. If you're the North, you want the points. You simply want more points.
Well, here again, that missed point after comes into play, Jan.
Yeah, it really does.
Here is the kick, and
it's through.
It is good.
Yeah.
21-yard field goal by Lazar. 4th quarter with 10:50 to play. And, of course, in the football game, that's an eternity.
Well, I have to say, I'm not stunned, but I'm a little surprised. The North has really kept the momentum and did some nice things and kept this lead here in this ball game. They answered the call after the South, made that last score, and the North comes right back and gets some more points. And I think that was very important for the North to answer, even though they just got 3. That was still important to come away with some points, Jerry.
Well, what it does now, it makes it a 7-point football game, so it makes it decision time. If the South should score, do you go for the tie, or do you go ahead and go for the 2-point conversion? Here's the drive, 11 plays covering 62 yards. Time of possession, 4 minutes and 23 seconds. That 21-yard field goal by Lazar. And, of course, we go back to that 15-yard personal foul. That just really kind of changed the entire scenario. So the South will get the football again. They've got trips deep standing back on their own 5-yard line, getting set to kick off now for the North All-Stars is Lazar, the gentleman who just knocked home that field goal, and he's got a great leg, knocks it clear out of the end zone.
Well, leg's a weapon within itself. If you can keep the ball out of the hands of speed and you're starting off from the 20 versus the 30-35, that's a huge defensive weapon from the kicking game.
Well, the South has not had very good starting position. This is only their 3rd possession in the second half, and the first possession was on the 20-yard line, but it ended up in an 80-yard touchdown drive with a 3-yard touchdown run by Eric Williams at the 6:56 mark of the 3rd quarter. Second possession, they had to punt it away. For the 3rd time now they've had the football.
Well, there's your answer. Morgan Newton's now in on this possession.
Newton with a inside handoff to Eric Williams over the left side. Turns the corner, gets 5, gets 6, gets 7, maybe even got 8 or 9 yards. No, in fact, they're going to give him 11 because he got past the yard marker.
Let's take a look from the shotgun. Just a straight handoff. Stretches it out.
Well, we talked about Eric Williams. 1,715 yards rushing this year and 21 touchdowns, almost 132 yards per game for Eric Williams. 10 minutes, 38 seconds to play. Let's check this situation here. Morgan Newton stays in at quarterback. A bit of confusion now as they've got David Brown likewise in the backfield. Set out almost a slot to the left side. Out of the shotgun. Here's the inside handoff again. Williams with very little check it. Is that Turner? Yeah, it is Nick Turner on the rush. Very little. Let's go down to the sidelines again. Greg?
Another great coach joining us here on the sidelines. Bob Gaddis, head coach of the Columbus East Olympians. Coach, congratulations on another great season in 2008.
Well, thanks a lot. We had a great one last year, and we're getting ready for this one this year.
I know in talking with you that it's time to turn the page. Had a lot of seniors on a very good team last year.
Yeah, we had a lot of good guys and played a lot of good football for us for a number of years, and and we've kind of got a mix of kids with experience coming back and a lot of newcomers.
You sent a player before to Michigan and Stevie Brown, but now you're sending a couple of kids just down the road to Indiana University. What is that experience like as a coach?
Well, it's great. You know, to have a great team, you got to have a lot of good players to build upon. And you know, the thing I've always told our players is when your best players are your hardest workers, you know, you got a chance to be successful, and those guys set great examples.
And growing up in Southern Indiana, around a lot of Hoosier Hills Conference schools, I know that Columbus East was not a football powerhouse. When you got there, you have turned it into a year-in, year-out football power. What's been the key to that, Coach?
Well, the key is we've got good players, we've got good coaches, we've got great community support, and then, you know, we've been just on a good run, and our kids are very dedicated, and we've had a little luck in that run too. But it's been a fun place to coach, and you know, our kids are excited about this year.
Bob, good luck in 2009.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming out.
You got it, Jerry.
Greg, what he also failed to mention, they got a line of keels coming through down there too.
That doesn't hurt anything.
No,
does it?
and I understand that the one that's coming up now, and I've forgotten his first name. That in fact, I was talking to Dick Dullahan about him. He may be the best of the bunch.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Of course, they were regional champs last year. Let's take a look. Here's Morgan Newton. He just continues to find his way to find some yardage, and he does it out of nothing. Now, there's the power of the legs, Jared. You see him just break that last tackle. Broke almost 4 tackles on that. Not a lot of yardage, but boy, that was all Morgan Newton on that one.
Cam Coleman out of Fort Wayne North Side, the guy that makes the stop. Coleman is 6'3", 260. Morgan Newton is 6'4", 220. That's a pretty good-sized quarterback. 8:17 to go now. 4th down and 1. And the officials wind the clock now. An important possession for the South because with the clock running, this game has actually moved along pretty well. The halftime was rather lengthy. A fumble in the backfield. Picked up back there by Zane Fakes. And Fakes is going to get the first down perhaps. Well, what a break that is for the South All-Stars.
Let's take a look at the Shelbourne knee replay. Here goes right through Morgan Newton. Right into Fake's hands, and I think he's got enough for the first down. You know, we may come back and say this might be an awful huge play of this ball game.
That ball just got flat through the knees of Morgan Newton while we were talking about Shelbourne Knee Center, Knee Clinic. Now we got out of the shotgun Morgan Newton. Now there's a little confusion again. They continue to move people around. Fakes comes back as the protector back there for Morgan Newton on 1st down and 10 with 7:45 to go. Lots of time for Newton trying to get it all overthrew his man. Good coverage that time by the North's number 25, Caleb Simmons out of Clinton Central High School, the 6'1", 175-pounder. And that'll stop the clock at 7:38.
Pretty good coverage, as you said, Jerry. And in fact, it was, you know, it was excellent coverage. He had him step for step down the field. I mean, that was just great coverage.
Now, you talked earlier, Jan, about getting 7 yards on 1st down. Now what you've done basically is turned this into a 2 or a 3 play series because you've lost your 1st down already.
Yeah, you're right. You know, if you're playing with the lead, then you take a couple looks like that. But boy, playing from behind, I want a little more closer play, I would think.
Newton's got 2 defenders in the backfield. They had it set up for a bubble screen. Here's the pass intended for Morgan Cook. He couldn't hang on to it. They had Tyrone Walker kind of floating out of the backfield on the near sideline. He was wide open. I'm not sure Newton ever saw him, and now it's make it 3rd down and 10 with 7.5 minutes to go.
Well, you talked about that missed pass on 1st down. Now that pressures you to pass on 2nd down, and now you're really in trouble here. So Morgan and the South team, Jerry, is going to have to find a 1st down, and they've got a long way to get there.
Well, the indications are there's a flag down. I still haven't found it. But apparently it's right here on the near sideline. And the way the South is backing up is going to be against them. Showing ineligible receiver downfield. It's a loss of down.
3rd down.
Yes, so it's 3rd down and 10.
Third and 10 for the South.
I'm surprised, to be honest, Jan Boser, that we haven't had more of those kinds of plays because ineligible receiver downfield, I mean, that's a timing play right there. Now, they haven't had a lot of time to work together with just a week's practice. Big play here on 3rd down with 7.5 minutes to play. Newton looking over the middle, a bullet. Oh, right into the hands and out of the hands of Keith Dockery from Merrillville. It was almost like it was intended for him.
Keith Dockery, Jerry, you've called his name multiple times. And that just about was picked off.
Now, Jan, decision time. I don't think there is. With 7.5 minutes to go, you got to punt it away, don't you?
Yeah, there's no options here. The way I see it, you got to punt the ball away.
This will be the third possession and the second punt of the game for the South All-Stars, Josh Owen of Lapel.
But Jerry, I think you go back to what you said on that first down when they went for it long. That really pressured them and took their options and play calling away.
It only gave them 2 plays, basically.
Yeah.
This is not a good punt again. It's a high punt that hits on the 39-yard line of the North All-Stars. Takes a good bounce for the South down to around the 26. So the numbers, again, will be better than the actual punt itself. We'll take a break with 7:17 to play in the game. The North still on top by a touchdown, 20-13 here on Hometown Sports. Welcome back to North Central High School. Portions of tonight's game. Grange Insurance All-Star Game brought to you by the Shelbourne Knee Center at Methodist Hospital. World-class care right in your backyard. And by Ponderosa Steakhouse, land of choice. Over the platter, bring the kids, but don't forget them when you leave.
Oh, that's beautiful. Don't forget the kids.
Don't forget the kids. Yeah. 7:17 to go. North with the lead with the football and going nowhere in the backfield, Carlton Austin. South being led that time by Kakpindi Jamiru, KJ from Indianapolis Cathedral. On the stop that time, no gains, second down and 10 from the 26. Big defensive series here for the South All-Stars. There's KJ.
Yep, KJ going to Purdue, I think you said earlier.
As a walk-on, yep.
Yeah, as a walk-on. And
second and 9.
Well, I'll tell you, actually, that could have been a little worse for the North than it was. A nice run, really, because he had a couple men hanging on him and was able to get a couple yards, what really should have been 0.
And they give him 1. We'll call it second down and 9. The series beginning on the 26-yard line. Matt Lancaster in at quarterback has a wide-open receiver on the far side, and Javante Hintz. Hintz catches the ball shy of the 35-yard line.
Let's take a look at Lancaster on the Shelbourne Knee Center replay. It's a good touch pass out in the flats. 6-yard gain. But now that leaves the North with 3rd and short. Now your play selection, you have a lot of different things you can do here.
3rd down and 3. Clock continues to wind down, heading towards 6.5 minutes. 6:35 to play now in this fourth quarter. What's been a well-played and pretty darn exciting All-Star game. Sometimes these things can get out of hand, but not tonight. Here's the pass on the near side. Beautifully thrown to Marquise Nichols, and it went right through his hands. And it's that old saying, Jan, he was running before he got it.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was going to say on the Shelbourne Knee Center replay. Just a timing pattern. And you're right. He wanted to run so bad, but you got to catch it first.
Now we got a 4th down scenario. No question here what you're going to do. You got to punt it away. And Brandon Williams out of Northwood High School will come in to do the punting. That's the first 4 and out for the North in the game. I'll be darned.
Well, this is exactly what the South team needed. With 6:25, they're going to get the ball back and should have it in decent field position.
And others.
Yeah, flags everywhere.
Boy, if that's against the South, that's a first down.
That's it.
Oh, my goodness. You're right, Jerry.
White 54, you got him in.
I had white across before the guard.
Well, that's a first down.
Dead ball, encroachment.
Oh, you talking about untimely penalties.
It'll be a 5-yard penalty.
Wow.
First down for the North.
You've just, as defensive lineman or defensive player, that's just a mistake you can't make. You just can't, but they did. You cannot be offsides there.
Well, you can forget that stat we just threw at him first forward out in the game then. Oh, my, what a... Jan, I don't know how many times we said this, play of the game. That may be it right there again. North now with the football. Pitch out to the near side. Running room for David Lease. And Lease will get out right around the 45-yard line.
Well, this is where you tell your defense, hey, somebody's got to now step up and make a play, Jerry. You know, your back's against the wall. Still plenty of time. Don't give them anything. Nice kick-out block there on the side by the North.
I'm thinking back to that last series for the North when they got that 15-yard personal foul penalty. That turned that whole series around, and now you get the encroachment penalty against the South. Now we're inside 6 minutes. And it's still a 20-13 football game. North leads. They have the football out of the I formation. Here's the ball given to Austin again. Carlton Austin. He's had a number of carries in this game. He'll be shy of the first down, setting up a third down.
You know, this is where Lancaster really needs to work the clock and take it down, keep taking it down, and run some clock off here with 5:26 to not leave the South much time if they get the ball back, Jerry, to do much with it.
Well, it'll be third down and 1.
Just a big down. You get a first down here, and South's in a little bit of trouble.
I have a suspicion, Jan, that if they get the first down, South may not see the football again. I mean, 5 minutes is a long time to hang on to it, but they've done a good job of eating a lot of clock in this fourth quarter. This is only the third possession of the second half of the North. Oh, nothing doing. Beautiful defensive stop of the entire left side of the defensive line of the South All-Stars, led by 58, Kakpindi Jamiru.
Take a look at it here by KJ. Boy, he sticks him too.
Well, he came right through that hole that the runner was aiming toward, and now what a terrific defensive play. Now we face a similar scenario, Jan, of what we had a minute ago. Fourth down, and a penalty would give him another first down. So you got to be careful here again.
Yeah, learn from your mistakes. Don't repeat history here.
So Williams comes in for the North All-Stars out of Northwood High, the 6'2", 195-pound graduated senior. And he'll punt it away, standing back on his 32, get it away from about the 35, 36-yard line. This will be the second punt of the second half for the North Stars. Drives this one end over end, hits at the 21-yard line, takes a south bounce, and is dead on about the 22-yard line. No return as North gets down in a hurry, and now here's your scenario. 3:56 to go in the game. South trails 20-13. They'll get the football, perhaps for the final chance.
You know, South ends up a lot better than I thought they really had a chance of, Jerry. And now coming on for them is number 4 for the South. Of course, that's Matt King. Let's see what he can do for this South Ball Club.
33 yards on that punt, no return. So King will come in. He and Morgan Newton sharing the quarterbacking duties for the Southern All-Stars here at the Grange Insurance All-Star Classic. Thanks to all of our sponsors for making our telecast possible here this evening. Well, it's been a beautiful night to watch football.
To Jessica McFadden from Grange Insurance. Congratulations, Jessica. We're proud of all that you do to help Pete Smith and I on the public address. Thank you, dear.
A lot of the Grange Insurance officials being honored here tonight. Why not? They've got offices all over the country. Here's the handoff. Turner slashing back into the middle. Will be out near the 30-yard line. A gain of about a half a dozen on that play. Now, Jan, you're not really forced with 3:40 to go. You're not really forced to go to the air just yet, are you?
No, you got plenty of time, especially if you can run off some yardage like that. I don't think you want to turn to the air just yet. You got plenty of time. How many timeouts does the South have?
Looks like they've got, the South has 3.
3, so they have plenty of timeouts to use.
7 yards on that play. Second down and 3. Pass on the near side. Nice catch over here. I think it's Morgan Cook. Will Whittley climbs off the deck? Nope, that's Ryan McIntosh.
Well, you can be very happy with Matt King. Take a look at this pass, Jerry, on the Shelburne Knee Center replay. Because there's a defender, and there's that good touch pass. Gets it right over the defender, right into the receiver's hands.
Yeah, Morgan Newton is more of a power passer,
Yes,
if you will, and King has got a nice little touch on that football. Matt King, 5th in the state in passing yards, over 2,800 yards passing this year. Set up out of the shotgun again. He's got a Nick Turner back there to help him out. He's going to air it out. Oh, my goodness. Got a man wide open. And he could not get there. I mean, he had the defender beat by 10 yards. And climbing off the deck is Tyrone Walker.
And Matt King wants this one back in the worst way. Did he have a man wide open or not? Take a look. It just doesn't get any closer than that.
He actually got his fingertips on the football.
Yes, he did. Great replay on the Shelburne Knee Center replay.
That was a great throw. That ball had to be in the air 60 yards.
Well, Matt King's got a nice arm as well, Jerry. He threw that ball a ton.
But now you've set up a second down and 10 scenario.
I mean, that's all good.
Yeah.
But it's still an incomplete pass.
Absolutely. Now you're down to inside 3 minutes. 2 minutes 54 to go here in this fourth quarter. South led early on 7-0. They have since been, they were outscored at halftime. It was 17-13. Or 17-7, I should say. The South came back and scored, missed the PAT.
That was good coverage.
This pass incomplete. So with 2:48 to go, now we're down to a third down and 10. Now you're facing a situation, Jan, you don't want to get into, because if you do something now that doesn't get you a first down, you're looking at fourth down in your own territory. And at this stage of the game, you're almost forced to go for it.
Yeah, I think you would on fourth down. This is a big third down play. South really has to get it close here. They really need a first down, but at least get it close.
And it said Tyrone Walker way out to the top of your screen. He's the wideout out there. Now they're going to move Dwight Wilson into the slot right next to him. So they got twin wideouts on the left side. They got a couple of guys back to help protect Matt King. King's still going to get in trouble through it, and a great catch. They're going to throw it inbounds.
Jerry!
And that's going to be good enough for the first down. What a throw and what a catch.
My goodness, what a combination. On the run from the Shelbourne knee center replay. Look at the pressure he's got. He throws it right when he's brought down.
Oh.
Right with the acrobat reception. Beautiful play.
Adam Chalfant was the guy putting pressure all over Matt King that time. But somehow, some way, Dwight Wilson comes up with that catch. Now you've got yourself 2:41 to go. Of course, with the ball, the receiver going out of bounds, it stops the clock. Now you got a little bit of working room here. Forget about that pressure of a third down. Throwing again, coming near side, this time in a poorly thrown ball that is intercepted back at the 25-yard line. They had the intended receiver, Tyrone Walker, down there, and Greg Haben is the guy who comes in out of Delta High School and makes the intercept.
Yep. You know, the South, I think, boy, that's just, it really is a pass they don't need.
With absolutely
2:33, not. Jerry, they had all kinds of time to move down the field. And, boy, that interception may just about do it.
So the North will get it with 2 minutes, 33 seconds to play, and they're leading by 7. Now, they ate up a lot of clock with the last possession. They have the ball now on their own 25-yard line. Only this fourth time in the second half they've had control of the football. And I would be absolutely shocked if they put anything in the air right now.
Yeah. They're just going to grind it out here offensively on the ground.
Skylar Titus will be the quarterback of note, coming off to the sideline now for the Southern All-Stars is Kapindi Jamiru. KJ coming off with a limp.
Hopefully it's nothing much. He's played a very good game today.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, we've called his name multiple times. You've called his name. I've called him KJ.
2 minutes, right on the money, left in this football game. 20-13 your score, with the North on top and the football at a second down 5. And just plan on the game, the ground game here. That's all you're going to get, just to eat up the clock. They still have 3 timeouts left, does the Southern squad. They have not opted. Now they're going to take one of them right now.
Tackle made by 96, Philip Schumacher.
Yeah, they did.
Shoemaker out of Evansville Central on the tackle.
Waiting for the official to blow it, but they got the timeout.
So to set the scenario for you, 1:44 to go now in the game. 7-point ball game, 20-13 in favor of the North, and they've got the football by virtue of that great interception by Greg Haben.
You know, Jerry, this has been a really fun all-star game.
It has been.
It's been very competitive, a lot of nice plays, great crowd, good weather. It's just been a really well-played all-star football game.
Well, your friend KJ is not hurt too bad. I just saw him go hustling back in full speed
That's
into
a quick
the
recovery.
huddle. Yeah, I guess. All right, 1:44 to play. The North now in a situation 3rd down and 4. Even if they don't make it, you suspect, well, I don't know. Let me take that back. I'm going to say they would go ahead and try to run it on 4th down, but If they kick it away, that would give the South more field that they'd have to work with. But this is another key game play of the game right here. 3rd down and 4 with a minute 44 to play. And rolling out. Skyler Titus is going to try to pick it up. Chased down from behind, and guess who that was? KJ.
That ankle helped him hurry, didn't it?
No, I'll tell you, that's a miracle they got on the sideline here. He is 58 right at the left of your screen. That's Kakpindi Jamiru. He's not 100%. He's still down on one knee, now getting back up. He's played a whale of a game.
Yes, he has. Jerry, I think they're short.
The tackle was made by
They are.
30, Josh Owen.
Now the question, I think you punt it. You have to punt it here.
They look to be about a yard short.
Yeah, they really are.
All right, timeout has been taken by the South. We'll do the same here on Hometown Sports. Jerry Baker along with Jan Boser. Greg Rakestraw on the sideline working for us. Brad Silvert handling our stats up in the booth and what's been a really fun all-star game. They're going to punt it away now. The North will with a minute 38 to play. Brandon Williams in to kick it. This kid can really nail that thing. Nice tight spiral. And looked at but let go from the 22-yard line. They had a man back there, Jen, and it looked for just a moment as though he lost it in the lights. It's Richard Nellums out of Richmond High going to Mercyhurst College. He looked, watch him now. He almost looks like he can't find it. Now, what's his reaction here? He kind of goes, I couldn't see it.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. He couldn't find the ball at all, then had to get out of the way.
54 yards on the punt just when they needed it.
Well, they got a minute 25, Jerry. Morgan Newton back in at quarterback.
Well, let's see. Can they go 87 yards? They're back on their own 13-yard line. 4th possession of the second half. They've not had good field position on any of their drives. The 20, 26, 20, 23, and now the 13-yard line. Out across the 15 to maybe the 16-yard line. And they still have one timeout left. Let's see when they opt to use that timeout. Williams, number 12, the ball carrier for the Southern All-Stars. Morgan Newton is your quarterback, and the clock is still running down to a minute 5.
Gotta go, gotta go.
Now Newton's going to air this baby out. He does. A bullet over the middle. Got the pass complete. Out to Tyrone Walker. Walker trying to get out of bounds and does. He got the first down and room to spare out across the 30 to the 32-yard line.
Still got 51.4 seconds on the Shelburne knee center.
Chased out of bounds by 21, Nick Driscoll.
Newton hits his man. And the reception's good, and this is a smart play, Jerry. You got to know to get out of bounds here.
15 yards on that pass completion. Good heads-up play by Tyrone Walker that time to stop the clock with 51.5 seconds to play. 4th quarter of the game, the South with the football. They're down by 7, 20 to 13. Here's Newton coming to the near side, and the pass incomplete that time. Once again, the receiver, Dwight Wilson, looking to run before he actually had control of the football. The upside of that is it stops the clock with exactly 48 seconds to play.
Yeah, it's yardage you really want, though, and he just he's one of those catches where I think he started to run as well before he caught it.
Dwight Wilson was 6th in the state in receiving yards per game. He averaged almost 87 yards a game, over 1,100 for the season. Now a second down and 10. They flood the right side, and the pass is thrown low and incomplete. Intended this time for Wilson again. And pretty good secondary coverage that time. There's a good look at number 21 for the North defensive alignment, Nick Driscoll out of Southwood High. Awfully good football player.
You know, secondary coverage from the North really been solid all night long.
You know, we're talking about Driscoll. He was the leader in the state in tackles per game. He averaged almost 22 tackles a game this year.
That's huge. If you've ever played football, to understand what it would take to get that average.
He had 261 total, Jan. 113 of those were solo tackles.
That's not just one time. Did you say average?
Yes.
Oh, my
He averaged 21.8, almost 22 tackles a game. Newton's in trouble. Newton escaping. Newton running left side. Better get out of bounds, and he will. He'll get the first down. Out across the 45 to the 46 with 32.5 seconds remaining. Heads up play by Newton again.
Yeah, it was. This is where he's dangerous. You got to bring him down. They still have 32.4 seconds. We may be in for an unbelievable finish if Mr. Newton has anything to say about it.
And they still have a timeout left. So we'll see what happens. Clock is stopped with 32.4 to play. 20-13 in favor of the North. The North on defense right now. The South trying to. This drive began back on the 13-yard line after a terrific punt by the North All-Stars punter, Brandon Williams.
Morgan Newton has to retie his shoe there after.
There you go, young man. Okay.
Officials have done a nice job throwing this game, haven't they?
Yes, they have. I love the way they communicate with the kids. That's
They've
great
explained
officiating.
everything. Yeah, they've done a really good job. All right, here's Newton back again. Gets good coverage. Here's the pass over on the near side. It is caught complete this time by Walker, and Walker across midfield at the 40. Out of bounds, stopping the clock at 26-2 to play.
Boy, Tyrone Walker from Indianapolis. Ritter makes a great catch on the Shelbourne Knee Center replay. Second effort there. Hang on. Yes, you do. Good job.
Newton has come to the right side. A 20-yard pass reception that time. Newton loves apparently the right side. He's flooded the right side with receivers. He's had at least two out there the last couple of possessions. And now we'll look to the right side and hang on to the football. He's going to get out of bounds with a little gain, but not much, and stops the clock at 21-3.
South's not going away. Still just 21.3 seconds left.
Well, that kind of screwed up the play. That blew everything up, Jan, when he dropped the football.
You had the presence of mind to get out of bounds, though.
You saw Kurt Hutchins out of Kokomo, one of the defenders in the area. They got 4 down linemen, and the other 7 guys are pretty much playing center field. They got a couple of linebackers up semi-close. Cornerbacks are in. The safeties are playing deep. Here's Newton again. He's got to get rid of the football. If they tackle him, game is going to be just about over. Instead, he tries to run. He will get out of bounds and stop the clock at 12-9. On the defensive play, Dylan Painter out of Snyder High School in Fort Wayne.
Another first down.
Yeah, the first downs, Jan, to be honest, are kind of irrelevant right now.
Yeah, they are. He's got to get rid of that ball, 12.9.
Just holding on to the football probably cost him what, Jan? 4 or 5 seconds, I suppose?
Now the clock becomes their enemy.
Oh, my goodness. He got nailed hard into the sideline, and the coaching staff over there, he's okay, and so is the coach. Maybe 3 plays at the most they could get in here, assuming that they're not running plays, they're not lengthy plays. You got just at 13 seconds to go. 7-point football game. The South is down. Running back is Newton. Newton, this is going to eat up a ton of time. Newton in trouble. Newton gets the pass away. It's a low thrown pass that only the receiver could have caught had he been there. He was not. And they were trying to get the ball to Eric Williams, and now we're down to the final play of the game probably.
Well, the thing I don't like about this play is Newton, the right-handed thrower, starts off running to his left, and so he's already kind of made himself very difficult to get a pass off.
But Jan, now you drop everybody back now because you're just going to make Morgan Newton find somebody somewhere. So you got your down lineman. Everybody else is up for grabs.
Yeah, this is one play to try to tie it up. It's either going to be a great play or the North will get the victory.
Well,
go ahead, Jerry.
At the end of the game, we'll be announcing the most valuable players.
At the conclusion of
well, that's tough because there's been a lot of good plays tonight.
We'll be announcing the Tyler Roth Memorial MVP Award winners.
We'll see what happens here. The North has now broke the huddle. You know, you're telling your secondary, keep your eyes on that ball. He's going to have to launch this one in the end zone. He actually might. I don't think he's going to get 2 plays, Jerry. He might.
2nd and 10.
This might be it.
South Squad. This is it, man.
Here we go. Probably the final play of the game. Morgan Newton firing in the end zone, over the end zone, and out of the end zone, and the game is over.
Yep.
Bryce Wilson, the intended receiver, and that's the ball game.
Well, he threw the ball well from about 37 yards on the line, Jim, but even if he catches it, he's out of the end zone.
Yep, just too much on the Shelbourne Knee Center replay. You know, this victory, in my opinion, we're going to name some valuable players, Jerry, but really the team most valuable player has been this North defense. They really set the tone early on.
We'll take a break now. Your final score, the North All-Stars 20, the Southern All-Stars 13 in the Grange Insurance All-Star Classic on Hometown Television. Our postgame show tonight being sponsored by the Shelbourne Knee Center at Methodist Hospital, getting athletes back at the game for over 27 years, and by Ponderosa Steakhouse, land of choice, home of the platter. Well, time for tonight's Player of the Game Awards, brought to you by the Shelbourne Knee Center. Let's go down to the field now. Here's Greg.
Thank you very much, Jerry. We are joined by our North Squad MVP, former Maryville Pirate, soon to be St. Joseph's College Puma, Keith Dockery. Again, and Keith had a major interception in the second quarter, took the ball all the way down to the south 2-yard line. A play later, his offensive teammates would score. Your teammate, Greg Heben, had a couple of interceptions tonight as well. You guys, the defensive backfield, had a fantastic night. What was the key for you?
Well, basically, we just played our game. You know, we came in as underdogs. A lot of people doubted us. You know, the South was always winning. You got Morgan Newton, you know, great quarterback. But we just played our game. We didn't let it get to us. We didn't let none of the hype get to us. We just came out and executed.
Again, you just get to know Coach Dodson this week, but this is his final game as a football head coach. What's it mean for you guys to send him out as a winner?
It feels real good, you know, because he has a lot of history in football, and it just feels good to know that we gave him a little gift, you know, to end his career.
You just ended your high school career. Now it's on to college. You ready?
Oh, yeah. You better believe it.
All right, Keith, congratulations on winning the MVP.
Thank you, sir.
All right, back up to the booth, guys.
Thank you, Greg. Ready to move on, he says. Well, who can blame him? Keith Dockery, an outstanding football game tonight for the North All-Stars. We'll be talking to the South MVP here in just a moment, if we possibly can. 2013, again, your final score. The Southern All-Stars coming up short, Jan, in a game that you and I both thought early on was not going to be a rout, but they were in complete control for the first half of the first quarter.
Well, sometimes things you can't judge are turnovers and penalties, and the other thing you can't judge is heart and big plays. And North came up with some nice plays, and right there was one of them. That interception was huge.
You know, the interesting thing is the game really was decided by mistakes or turnovers, and yet for an all-star game, it didn't have all that many mistakes.
That's a great point. It wasn't filled with a lot of mistakes or turnovers. It was a very well-played ball game. You know, very close, very competitive. You're exactly right.
Well, the crowd now gathering around the North squad at the south end of the field. The Southern squad just north of the 50-yard line. Greg will be getting a hold of our Southern team South All-Star MVP in just a moment and chat with him. Again, our thanks to all of our sponsors for making our telecast possible, this Grange Insurance All-Star game. Folks at Shelbourne Knee Center, Methodist Hospital, Ponderosa Steakhouse. And now let's go down to the field. Greg, you've got our Southern All-Star winner.
Let's go to our South MVP again, former Warren Central Warrior, about to be a Ball State Cardinal, Eric Williams. Eric, congratulations. I know you weren't on the winning side tonight, but it's a solid all-around game for you. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
What was it like to cap off your high school career in this fashion tonight?
It was beautiful. You know, it's very wonderful for me to be able to test my abilities against some of the best players around the state and be able to play against some of the abilities the best in the South and be able to play against the best in the North and just see where I fared against. It was really great for me.
You had so many great rivals this year in Ben Davis, Center Grove, and Carmel, all conference rivals. What was it like being teammates with a lot of those guys tonight?
A lot of those guys, you know, we were all close on the outside of the field. You know, we all kept in touch. You know, but on the field, you know, if you're in the opposite color, you know, it's over. But we all in the same color today, so we all put that aside and played the game together.
You and George Cheeseborough were quite a tandem at Warren Central as running backs. What was it like watching them play defense in tonight's game?
Crazy, you know. We think about it all the time. If George would have played defense the whole year, he'd probably be going to a Division I college. But I think he should be going Division I and running back. You know, no problem. You know, everybody says his size and everything, but I mean, just he's my best friend, my brother. We've been playing against since we were in the 6th grade, you know, and I respect the man a lot, and I love him, man.
He has to go to northeastern Oklahoma. You go about 40 miles northeastern. You get to stay closer to home. You're going to play for Coach Parrish at Ball State. Your thoughts about now becoming a Ball State Cardinal?
I love it. You know, I respect Coach Parrish and Eddie Faulkner for recruiting me and sticking with me through all the problems and all the coaching change and everything. And just, you know, them telling me that I will have a chance to show my abilities in the college level next year. You know, I won't be redshirted next year, to let you guys know that. So, I mean, just to be able to stay home and my family get close to me playing and go to a team that's on the rise and just building the program up, I love it, and I want to play hard.
So if Eric ain't redshirting, we'll see him September the 3rd against North Texas when Ball State opens up their season. Eric, congratulations on the award tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Jerry?
Thank you, Greg. Jan, just a quick look at the final stats. Anything jump out at you?
Well, there really are two big things for the South. 5 turnovers, killed them. 103 yards and penalties for the South, only 10 for the North. Those are the two, Jerry, that really decided the game.
Well, it was a pretty darn good football game, especially for an all-star game where the coaches don't have a whole lot of time to get their players together and install any kind of offensive or defensive alignments. I thought both squads performed very well.
I did too, Jerry. It tells you the caliber and the quality of the individuals that were playing here today.
All right, thanks to Brad Silbert for his outstanding stats help tonight. Down at the field, Greg Rakestraw, Jan Boser alongside. Hometown Sports reminding you they got a lot of stuff coming up on the upcoming high school football season, which isn't all that far away than the basketball campaign, so we're all going to be busy.
We will be, and look forward to it, Jerry.
Well, this has been a production of Hometown Sports Indiana and WTHR.